those. I can't even remember how many nights I have of those. I could probably fill up a calendar how many days I did that.
Which is kind of funny, man, because I mean that's how waiting starts, is like they're partying, and like I really like that we picked these two. Like these are very good comparisons, because you worked in like a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was working in nice places. Without coming off too like egotistic or anything, but like my mother raised me with like nice quality things, and the restaurant I worked at for a very long time, it was very, it wasn't like this. I've worked fine dining, but this was right a little bit under it. Like it was more casual fine dining is what we called it. But I like nice things, and they had nice stuff there, so I would just stay there. I mean, I'm not materialistic, but I know what value is, and they had that there. So I worked there a lot, but I was trying to do. I think I've worked at like 12 restaurants, and that's not including the days that I worked just one day. You know, there are a lot of restaurants where I would go for one day and be like, oh fuck this, like nah, like but I do the whole shift just to be like give them my time. At the end, they are you interested? I'm like, nah, dude, sorry. They'd be like, all right, dude, see you later. Like it wasn't, I started.
So it was almost like it was like a sorry, like I said, cutting you off and everything.
Uh-huh.
So it was like a practice run.
Yeah,
like those restaurants would let you do like a day of like seeing if you like it and stuff like that.
Well, not even, dude. They'd hire me and be like, here the next 2 weeks. I'd be all right, cool. And after the first day, I'd be like, I can't work here, man. But also because I guess you want to get started.
Let's do it.
It's hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Side by Side. I'm CJ Robles,
and I am Ben Garrett.
And today,
hello.
Tonight, yeah.
sorry, that was a delayed hello.
I totally forgot.
I was half-ass messing with you there, CJ.
No, I'm like I said, I was kind of stepping up a bit, so I was trying to get some notes and I ended up writing like side notes. But everyone listening right now, my side notes are not for what we're doing though. Like it inspired something else, and I was like, I'm gonna start writing. But like we were talking about, these two movies are very, very like hand in hand. I didn't realize these movies are me, a lot to do with me. So you're listening to Side by Side. This is the podcast where we talk about movies, and Ben and I both appreciate movies, and we like films, and we try to see how we compare them to our life, or what we like. We try to compare an actor, a director, a writer, anybody, a film producer, to certain movies that they made, or to we're finding out. We're figuring this out as we go. We don't have an agenda. We're just talking about, basically we're just two friends hanging out and just talking about movies because we like movies. And like I've said earlier before another podcast that I was gonna watch movies anyways, and now I got one of my good friends I get to hang out with and talk about it.
Yeah, so, man. And this week, it's not really even directors or anything that kind of mesh these two together. It's just the commonality in the movie itself. You know, they're both dealing with waiters and waitresses that are, just living their life, man. And it's literally both of these movies is a day in the life of these waiters and waitresses. And man, I feel like they both captured it perfectly. With waiting being a little bit more like Clerks, having that feel to it. And Slammin' Salmon just kind of being like, I feel like it was the Broken Lizard guys, like they had some experience in this and they were just like amplifying it up, like really pushing the limits.
The way I see this is that waiting, and by the way, I didn't even pay attention. You were the one that brought it up last time. Waiting ... Now I'm like, damn, the waiting ... I was like, I'm working on this, getting better at saying titles and movies and names, and I was like, waiting ... Like I was like, whoa, and it's because just the name alone, that to me has a lot of layers there. Because it's waiting, you're also taking an order, and it's kind of like one of the smartest things I would say when a manager would tell me, "What are you doing?" When I was just standing, I'm like, "I'm doing my job. I'm a waiter. I wait." they have no comeback or like but we're talking about 2005 movie Waiting, rated R. It is a comedy, and we watched side by side with this one, Salmon Slammin'. down by the Broken Lizard gentleman. That's becoming a side by side a fan a friend. You know, it's fandom of ours. I don't know.
Fan favorite.
Fan
Yeah.
favorite. There we go.
And
2009.
might I,
Slammin.
yes, might I say, Michael Clark Duncan is just a gem in this movie. I can't tell you how many times I've quoted this, and not even just like it's just random, like just the shit that he says in this movie is just fantastic. Like I don't know whether I surely they wrote some of this stuff, but I feel like maybe he ad-libbed
A little bit of it.
just a little bit because oh man, that little bit extra,
Just that, yeah. Well, you know the difference between the extraordinary and ordinary. Just that little extra. I mean, in hindsight, that is a really nice motivational word phrase. But when it comes out in this movie, it's just the cheesiest shit you're ever gonna hear.
Dude, and I honestly, I hate that whenever you start a new place. Like, I get it, and this movie may have soured it for me, honestly. But like, you get into those. It really doesn't matter where you go. I feel like in these kind of environments, you have a little bit more. But dude, like working at Domino's, yeah, you sat down there and you got a little laptop, and they had you watch videos. Actually, I did not have to do that whenever I first started. They were so desperate that I just started.
Dude, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I've been working for a long time, and I want to say that every job I've ever had, every job that's had like corporate training, I never had to do it. There was always some loophole. I worked at IBC Bank for 2.5 years right out of high school, and I want to say that one was probably one of my. Like this episode would probably be a lot about work. And please don't be surprised if this is a 4-hour podcast. If we just do it with 2.5 to 3 hours or just movies we talk about, and this one's very, very engraved in our DNA. So I would like to get as much out of this as possible. So if we do hit the 4 mile mark, we'll probably break it up to 2-parter, but we'll see what we get there. We don't know. This is side by side. We just talk. But seeing Waiting and then seeing the Slammin, and dude, Michael Clark Duncan, I just want to say, he sticks out as a really, you lovable and you hate him.
Yeah.
But he's his own character. Like, I want to say that's some brilliant acting. He has to play a big lug and he's probably, I could do that. It wasn't really hard for him. He makes it so easy. He makes me believe that that's how he really is. Just a big guy,
Yeah, dude, and he's the antagonist of the movie. I mean, if you're really looking at it, like,
yeah,
he's the one fueling everything that's happening in this restaurant tonight.
Yeah,
and but it's like he's the antagonist, but he isn't. Like, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have any jobs. Like, it was kind of weird thinking about, like, okay, if he loses the restaurant, then yeah, dude, like, you're all screwed.
He doesn't think like that. He doesn't think about that.
Yeah. I mean, and then, dude, it was just like, oh man, like, I feel like I'm useless with the capital Y right now. Like, dude, I love it. Like, seriously, I quote him probably the most out of anybody in this movie.
Him and the bartender from Boondock Saints. I love quoting that because they just butcher quotes, and I tend to butcher names and quotes myself. But I love that one. And excuse my French. Remember, we do cuss on this podcast. I love the one on the Boondock Saints when he's like, "Why don't you make like a tree and shut the fuck up?" If you think about it, trees really don't make any noise, so he's right. But going back to the IBC bank, working at the bank, I didn't really make money at the bank. I did notice what cost of living was when I was going to transfer from the border to the big city or the bigger city around us, and the pay increase was almost $10. It was crazy. Like, I was like, oh, the cost of living. So that was kind of showing me what a bank job would. But one thing I got from working at the bank was there's a lot of people talk about money, but I see your money, even though I can't talk about it. And I noticed that it was always the person that that always had like the glasses, the fur coat, the money. Because this is before the ATM. Like, this was just when you could check your balance at the ATM, where you go to the bank. We didn't have the apps or anything, so people had to go up to you, talk to you. So I'm always constantly, someone comes in and is like, hey, because I worked inside of the Walmart. And the bank inside the Walmart, and they'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go buy some money. I'll go buy some food. Can you check my money real quick? Do I have at least $80 so I can buy this and buy that?" And you're like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Like, it was a quick. I always like that. But then you always had like those boozy people that come in like, "Oh, how much money do I have in my account? Oh, $1,200. Oh, yes, I'm doing well." And then they have all. I'm like, "Okay, you look like you have like $1 million, but okay." And then here comes like a lady with like 7 kids. and her husband's off, like he's a truck driver, and they come open their account. There's like 48 grand. I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about people, but I'm like, wow, how do they have so much money? Because they're all disciplined. You know, they live within a limit. They take care of each other. Like I was like, oh, where this one individual is trying to flaunt that they're worth all this money, but this other family's like, nah, we need to save. So I was always like, damn, like I don't ever judge people. Like I don't care about your bank account. Like I'm not a materialistic person, and I'm not, like I was saying earlier about the restaurant. Like not to say that I like nice quality things, but I know what they cost, and I don't really feel like breaking my back for that. I've been working for a long time. My mother showed me how to work at a young age, so you know her having businesses always helped me out because I always kind of was looking around and seeing what she was doing, and then getting into I accidentally got into the service industry. I didn't mean to. Like we were talking earlier, I was a party guy, so I was constantly partying. But I'm also like, I guess I want to party organize or something. And sometimes I go to these. The first event I did, where I actually got tipped, and it was unofficial, was a New Year's party, New Year's Eve party, and there was no bartender. So there was a bar there with no bartender, and I was like, man, I drink enough, I can make this. And I mean, I had everything there, so I just started making drinks, and then I had a good time, and I was like, all right, cool, and I kind of was like, how much? I made like $50, and I was like, well, it's $50, and I worked like 4 hours. I was like, that's not bad. And then I man, I when I lived in San Marcos, that was pretty cool because we had the bars closed at midnight. So at 11 o'clock, you start seeing where everyone's going, and you go to that after party, and then you go hang out, and that's where you hang out with your coworkers. Well, at the time, I was doing retail. I don't know why I was doing retail, but I worked at the Gap Inc. Like I worked for Gap, Banana Republic, Old Navy. I've worked for was Banana Republic. I worked all over the outlets, but I never realized like the money was in waiting tables. like like there's a lot of money in that if you do it right. And all the jobs I've worked a lot of jobs, and even like as in my 30s, I was still working. I'm still working. I like working as an actor. I like working random things, learning new things, and if it's all going to pay the same, at least I'm getting knowledge or experience or something. At this point, I don't really care. But that being said, like I this is a long story. I don't really want to bore everybody with this, but basically, I got my cousin and I went to go work at an event as like private bartenders, and they overstaffed the event, and the coordinator cut me, and they said like 1, 2, 3, y'all got to go, and then my cousin had to stay. So I was like, you know what, I'm here anyway, so I'll just volunteer. And the coordinator was like, "You're gonna what? Volunteer?" I go, "Dude, I have nothing to do. I'm dressed as a penguin. What am I gonna do? Hang out at this? There was a brand new apartment on East Austin they were opening." And I was like, what am I going to do? Just look like this and just be like, oh, I'm just here to hang out. Like, then put me to work. So they always felt very timid. Like she was very, and she was really nice. The lady, I still have friends with her on Facebook. She's cool. I like her. I like her life. She has a little nice, glamorous life. And, yeah, she likes to shop. What do you call it? So I was at this event, and they go, well, go look at this. There was like 2 restaurants like giving out food, little tents, and they go help that guy out. He's a barbecue guy. And it was like some dude. He was like, oh, I don't need any help. I'm work alone. And if they want to come help me, then get out of my way. And you get out of my way. And I was like, all right. I'm sorry. I'm going to go walk over here, whatever this tent is. So I went to the other tent, and it was a South American cuisine. It was really good. And, I'm from the border. So I was like, yeah, we're all Hispanic. Cool. South Americans, hung out with them. And I kind of kicked it off with the owner. And she told me, hey, come by my place and let's see if we can find you a spot. Well, I went 3 days in a row to go see if she was at this small little restaurant. And every day I dropped off a resume, talked to a different waiter, because apparently I didn't know this till I got into it. When if the people don't like you right off the bat, the other waiters will throw your resume away anywhere. I found that out I found that out at HEB when I was applying at HEB when I was younger. They throw away my resume. And like, how come I didn't get a call? I was like, well, I saw my application. Like I gave the guy my application. I walked away and I came back and I saw it in the trash. So then when I was younger and I applied at the movies, the guy had the same feel. So I walked away and I came back and I saw my resume and I pulled it out of the trash, and then I looked at the guy, and then later I went and watched the movie. So I forgot what I did. But I was like, well, they don't want me, but I guess it's okay. I'll go make my own movies. But I did the event, and she called me like a couple of days later and was like, hey, come to West Austin, and we got a new restaurant we're gonna open. And dude, I started working with them like part time, like just working like 3 days, 3 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shifts, nothing serious. I didn't know what I was doing, waiting tables. I did work at Applebee's, which is gonna tie in with the waiting. But that was only for a summer, and that wasn't really like, that was weird. Like now I think about it, even like my very first table, man, that was kind of weird too. Like I got left a message, like it was a weird, my first Yelp, I guess, what you should say on the receipt. But then people like, I got a Yelp, but I started waiting tables, and I was at the end of my career as a lab rat, as a pharmaceutical lab rat. So I kind of was tired of that, and I wanted to go into do something else. And I was like, I'll just start waiting tables. And I realized like at first I was like paying like $300 a week working like 4 shifts. So I was like, whatever. And then I just started having like, as I don't have debt. So anybody listening, I was living very cheap because I didn't have bills or anything. So as I was just working these 3 days, I just started learning, getting experience. And then finally they were like, hey, you have to work on the weekends from now on. And I was like, okay. And then they just put me every day. So I started waiting tables in West Austin at a suburb, very, it's kind of, it would be in between waiting and Salmon Slammin, the restaurant, the cafe I worked at, right in the middle. It was not as high end as Salmon Slammin, which I have worked at a place like that, and I have worked at Applebee's, so it does tie into waiting. So yeah, enough about me. Let's talk about the movies.
Oh, dude. Well, here, I'll tell you what. Domino's. I was at Domino's for 8 years, man.
Dude.
Yeah, so
Soldier.
I went from driving for Domino's. I was assistant manager, general manager of a store. Like, I did it all. Like, it was whenever I moved to Austin, man, I wanted to do something different. So I applied to a car dealership. I worked there for like 2 months, and before I quit, like I got a job at one of the Domino's, and I actually just up the road from me where I was living. And let's see, I moved to Austin in October, and then by December, man, I was working over there full time. But yeah, it was that was part of the 8 years I was there. I was working in Austin at Domino's for 2 years, essentially. And but yeah, most of it was at Stephenville, dude. And I still remember my first order that I went on, and I was like doing all the money, and I gave her the wrong change, and I shorted myself like $1.26. So I started off like
already in the back.
Short. Yeah, already in. Yeah, dude. I was more of I would spend all the money that I had. Like I knew what my bills were. I never really got into I never had any debt either, man. Like I just had my rent, and just enough money to get me through, and I'd go and eat and do stuff like that. And I was very frivolous with money for a long time. And working on that for sure. Almost 30, still working on that shit.
Oh, dude, that's a lifetime thing, man. They don't teach us finance in high school, dude. Or we got to learn on our own.
Not as well as they should, dude. Like,
dude, they should teach sex ed and finance in high school, and we'd be set, But the two things that actually can hinder us, or maybe criminal history, criminal law too. Everybody should be a paralegal when they get out of high school, so we know the law. You like you just said, like you worked there 8 years. I worked at my cafe for 8 years. I worked at the steakhouse for about a year. But in between like that 8 years, I lived in LA for a year, so I worked at a few little places. My thing was when I got to LA, I had saved up like 12 grand just for that trip to like make it there. But I got there, so I was like, any job will do. But then I got bored. Like even like right now, like all the stuff I'm about to say, I want everyone when anyone is listening that I even because of the pandemic, I miss waiting tables. Like I love this job. The reason I got out of it was one, I did have that constant eating at me of like I needed to do something with my life. Like our boy Dean over here, he had he has his issues with what he wants to do, and I kind of went through that. My thing was my dog is tearing up the backyard. My thing was it sounds like there's a person in my backyard. My thing is I know the answers. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know what it's just kind of, I guess more like it is kind of like being scared or just not knowing the unknown. Even it's okay. My dog. Sorry about that.
Check that out.
No, I think I know what's going on. There is a net, and I think she's trying to get to it. I put the net over it was a freeze the other night, and I put it over the plants. And then I came in the morning and she was messing with it. So then I got it and I put it up, and I think she's trying to get to it. It sounds like she's trying to get to it because right under it are her bowls. Oh, I'm problem solving right now. This is how Dad does his thing, man. Kevin Hart has a stand-up about how you babysit as a parent, as a dad. You go, hey, be quiet. I say, hey, what are you doing? Like you try to watch the TV and listen to the kids. It is a kind of a thing. Okay, yeah. So waiting tables, I kind of got into. I don't. Sorry, lost my train of thought. But it kind of turned in like a chain for me where I was like I was like waiting tables and like you'd make like $250 and then going out and spending it and that night and then waking up and doing it the same thing again. I didn't care. A lot of the things that helped me out. Oh yeah, we're talking about high school, but a lot of things that helped me out was the fact that the place that I worked at, they collected tips. And that's one thing is they collected tips and so you get you get a paycheck every 2 weeks instead of walking out with your money. So I learned to like, all right, that helped me out a lot. That's kind of how I got my finances because once I started working at other places where you walk out with money in hand, I was spending that money like that.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So what happened was, I kind of got into that chain and like Dean, like you get to that point where even I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm just kind of like, man, I love waiting tables. I love talking to people. I love hanging out. It's a crazy job. Like when I started getting into fine dining, dude, because when I worked at a place that's kind of chaotic, man. It was like Wild West, like. We'd work some restaurants I worked at because I worked, like I said, there were some restaurants that I worked at that I'd work like one day, work the whole shift, give the restaurant its like due diligence, and I'll get you out for a day. And even if they fed me extra days on the schedule, I'd go and I'd be like, I can't work here. Like I just don't have chemistry here. I don't like it, and I take off, man. And I get like that because a lot of people try to show establishment like they're dom. I'm like, I'm just trying to like, I'm not trying to take any of your tables. I learned waiting tables when I'd see people freak out over like a $3 tip or $5 tip. I was like, nah, man. Like I'm not gonna lose my pride for that. Like I'm not gonna like, people like yelling and getting. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I can go so many ways with this. I did it for so long, and I was also gonna say we pulled tips, and I hate that. Don't ever pull tips. Pulling tips is like the worst. It makes people feel like they can get lazy unless it's a massive like concert. Unless it's something where you really can't focus on it, then there's just a lot of money coming in, then that's fine. But when you're working on a day to day, do not pull tips. Catering. Have you ever done catering?
No,
dude. Catering.
I'm not.
That's kind of like your gateway into also waiting tables because people can cater for 2 or 3 years and then they jump into waiting tables. Like I said, I got in there by pure dumb luck. Just started, but what also helped me out is the owner, like she made me fall in love. I think about this. She made me fall in love with the restaurant. Like I'm in love. I still am. I was in love with the restaurant. Like I like was like a soul, like a heart, like a beat. And the owner, she gave it to. She was the owner chef, so she gave that to the restaurant she put in there. So it was like I wasn't like. It was also the fact that even though she's from South America, my mother is from Mexico, so you still had the same kind of vibe. So I kind of just took her. She kind of took me in like her son, and I kind of went in. Like we don't really say that too much, but it's kind of like there's that unspoken thing where like, hey, because I yes ma'am, no man, and you have man, it's like. We could talk about waiting tables, like really we can get into it. It's cool because there's a lot of people that they hire thinking like, oh, they're gonna help out or do this, and then they just don't work out. I don't know if people can tell. I have like thick skin. Like you can kind of beat me down a bit before I realize, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? And I think over there, like people get onto people and people freak out and just quit sometimes. And I'm like, it's an easy job, I didn't even realize I had to drive 45 minutes from Austin to Westlake area. I did that for every day, like for shifts. So I would just do doubles because it's so far away. I didn't think I liked the fact that when I was driving, because I leave with so much stress that I was driving and just like getting it off me. Like just God, I had to go with, and I get home and be like, or just go to the bar and you go doing your thing. And that was me. I was just kind of having fun. Like if you meet a girl, cool. If you don't, I don't care. Meet friends. I liked hanging out. I liked hanging out with restaurant people. You kind of have, there's like a thing. I don't know if it still exists anymore with Austin because I'm not in it either. But there, the service industry people, y'all get to know each other, and everybody kind of you take care of each other. It's a weird thing to explain because it's like. What's up?
It does. Dude, I remember whenever I first started working in Domino's, man, I was closing every night. So I'd get there at 4 to like 12:30 because whenever I worked in Stephenville, it'd take us like an hour and a half, 2 hours to close.
Oh,
just because we weren't like properly staffed. Like somebody would close front, somebody would close back, right? And so the managers didn't have as much responsibility in Stephenville as they did in Austin.
Okay.
So, the managers were like doing they were helping clean up. And we get out of there like 30 minutes after close. And then all the closing guys would go to the bar, like literally off of Palmer Lane. There's a bar, the Palmer Lane bar, and we would go over there and we would just drink until they closed. So it was like we need to get out of there at 12:30 so we could be there for an hour and a half. And we would just sit there and bullshit and just have a good time, and like we do that every night. Like every night that I worked, man, I would get off and go to the bar, and dude, it was a good time. Like I enjoyed the hell out of it, and met some good people over there. Really, there's one guy that he was a little bit older than everybody else, and he had been working at Domino's. He'd been working at that Domino's for like a year, dude. And like me and him really kind of hit it off because like I'd already been at Domino's for a long time, so I was like, all right, come on, let's get this shit done. And like me and him could kind of go back and forth, and we kind of hit it off a little bit more than he was always pitching about something. I'd be like, oh yeah, like I just listened to him rant, and then he'd be over it. But yeah, dude, like it was a good way to kind of get acquainted with everybody there too. Like it got to the point where because the owner of all the Domino's like in the area, he had like 9 or 10 stores. And some of them were relatively close, but I would go and work at other stores. And then I would be like, hey, we go to the bar, like you coming over to the bar after work and stuff like that. And also, dude, whenever I was working at that Palmer Lane, like they were about to split it up into 2 different other stores. And so they had a bunch of new managers coming through. So I got to like meet all of the fucking managers that were about to have like a store of their own or be assistant managers at other stores and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was a really cool kind of experience. And plus, like, I'd already had experience doing all that shit. I just chose to be a driver because I was like, I don't want any of that responsibility, especially in Austin, dude. Like, I moved out of Stephenville and got away from that because, like, I didn't want to be a general manager of like a one, in this little town. Like, it's a college town, and Austin's kind of a college town. Where I was living at, it wasn't so much, but even the people I was working with, like some of the CSRs were like in high school. Like I remember I talked to this one kid, and I was like, have you ever seen The Hangover? He was like, no. I was like, all right, well, this conversation's over. But I was like, and then I was kind of thinking about, I was like, dude, you were probably like 5 or 6 when that movie came out. It blew my mind. And it was just like, it was kind of weird at the same time, but because they would hire, high schoolers, all that other stuff. In Stephenville, dude, like, no, you don't hire high schoolers. Like, there's enough college kids coming through. Yeah. But even those guys, man, like they'd be like, oh, can I take the weekend off? And you'd be like, yeah, cool. And it's like, I need more shifts. Like,
yeah.
What do you want, man? Like, you can't have the best of both worlds. And like, that was my bread and butter, was just dealing with people who didn't know what they want and wanted everything but didn't want to work and all this other shit. And like I got it. Like whenever I first started working there, that's what I was about too. Like I wanted to be able to have off weekends, I wanted to have my nights and all this other stuff, but there wasn't any money in it. Like nights were where you made your money. You can go, especially in Austin, dude, I can go make a bill in a night easy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch for 6 months when I was when I was 21, something like that. And I mean 21. And man, they paid $6 an hour. And then, I worked there long enough to get $6.25 or $6, whatever it was. It was pretty cheap. But I was like, one of my childhood friends was the manager there for the back of I guess we'll call the back of the house. I guess it was also just like the back where you do all the back shipment and stuff. And then there's the front. And, they called me the hybrid because I would work in the back, and then whenever the models wouldn't show up, they just throw me off there in the front. They shoot me up in there, like, so I'd be like an Abercrombie model, just all scrawny, no muscles, just in the front, like with the fully clothed, like 4 different pop collars on. And that wasn't me. I would do that like joking around, and that was the thing that got me. Like it always got me when I liked hanging out with, like, I've always gravitated to like older people. And then, so even like manager stuff, obviously, like, oh man, what's your, I couldn't go on the internet and like look up things. You just go and talk to people and you learn from them. And my old Abercrombie manager, Randall, he's a cool guy. He played basketball at Texas Tech, so I was like, oh man, he told me all these basketball stories he had. So I'd always just talk to him, and he started opening up to me about life. And he told me that he goes, man, I don't know what I want to do, but if you're gonna pay me 55 grand to fold clothes, I'll do that. And I was like, oh wow, that's insane. Like just for the degree and just talking to him. And then I go, what's after you? What's above your job? He's like, well, this manager, this area manager, then this district manager. And I was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me that all it is a bunch of like managers on top of each other, just like making sure they're managing work? That's all that does? I was like, okay, I don't want to do that. But like, him opening up and giving me that idea in my head, I was like, okay, so I've worked at GNC. I've worked at man, I worked a lot of jobs, dude. I think one of my friends called me out when I was like 20 years old. He's like, how many jobs you've been working for a long time? How many jobs you had? I think I had like 8 jobs by then. But not like jobs that I worked and got fired. Like I worked for a little bit and I was like, oh, or summer jobs or temporary. But the way I got, like I said, that's the way I got into the service industry. And once I realized like the car sales, my dad sells cars. So my dad's got a dealership. My dad, sorry, once I got into like sales, I already knew about sales and stuff. I was just like, well, what's the easiest thing I could do and make a lot of money? I was like, wait tables. Like it's so easy.
See, me and you, man, we're almost complete opposites in that, because I've worked at Domino's. I've worked as a car salesman. I worked at a small town deli in Stephenville for summer, and then Central Market. And then I worked for my dad, but I didn't even get paid doing that. So
The branch,
yeah, like I was like going out and helping, actually, I did work for my cousin who it was in the same damn shop, but I put insulation in houses for one summer.
Yeah.
And that wasn't near as bad as people make it out to be. I learned to wear a long shirt real fucking quick. Like there's just a few things that you're like, oh no, I can handle it. Oh, never mind. Probably the funniest story I have from working with that one of the guys, man, he wasn't great with his words. Like he was a goofy dude, and like if you were to get in a fight, you definitely want him on your side. Like he looked like a scrapper for sure. But he was trying to say his like tonsils were hurting. He's like, yeah, man, those balls in my throat, they're messing with me. And dude, we just were like, what the hell are you talking about, man? He's like, the balls in your throat, your tonsils? Yeah. And like, oh, those balls in your throat are really messing with you, huh, there, bud? Like, we would just get after it, man.
That's okay, I guess eventually we'll talk about these movies because I mean, man, it's just work in general.
This is what it's about,
dude. I think you're right. You're absolutely right about that. I think the fact that like it's work, labor. Someone was able to capture a day, or both. Some people, just a group of guys and a guy by himself wrote similar movies because the job doesn't really change.
No.
I can relate a lot to the Dean character. That's probably about it. And at the restaurant, that's what I love of my aunt. She says when my son was coming around, she goes, oh, mijo, I love that there's no job too little or big for you. Because I was like, yeah, I like work, but I'm I'll use my intelligence and be like, oh, I don't. That's a lot of time for a little bit of pay. And that's unless you can learn from it. But I've worked every position at a restaurant, and I've worked in a bar. I've done bartending. I've done waiter. I've done host. I've done pastry. Expo. You do like I've done every front of the house. I did work a little bit in the back of the house, and I will say that the back of the house is probably 90% of the reason why I stayed at where I was from, at the restaurant I was at, because everybody there was from Mexico, and I'm not talking about I'm from San Antonio, Mexico. I'm talking about everybody swam over here or something. They got over here, and that was like, it's crazy when you talk to somebody that's actually had to that's why I feel like all privileged, dude. Like I had to literally take 2 days to get here, and here I am crying about a headache because I got drunk the night before and I got paid like 3 times what they're gonna make at the night. To me it's like when my grandmother and my mother showed me paycheck stubs when my mom was real young, and 13, 14, and they'd go to Bakersfield, California, and work on the fields as migrant workers, and they were getting paid like 25 cents, 18 cents an hour. Actually, my mom had the initiative. This is where I get it from. She had the initiative to get the job inside that paid more, the secretary job. So it popped up, and she's like, I could do that. And she said she had never done it before, so she just kind of figured it out, and that's what kind of got me. I was like, oh, you just figure things out. You just show up
Yeah.
and you just do it. And that's why I'm very, very grateful about like a lot of the stuff, because I was tired of it. And I don't care if people get mad at me. I don't care if anybody throws it in my face. Waiting tables for this long, I have more friends that I don't like waiters. I can hang out with bartenders. I can hang out with busboys. I can hang out with pastry chefs. I can hang out with, but waiters on the other hand, I always had issues with them, because it's like, dude, we're doing the same job and you're complaining about it. And you have 2 tables to my 6, and I'm splitting tips with you. Like, be appreciative and help me bus or do something, but shut. And there's always someone older than me. There's always like 10, 15. I've always worked with people 10, 15 years older than me, and I'm like, come on, guys. Like, and then when someone tells me, like, you just try too hard, I'm not even trying. Like, it gets to the point where you feel that pressure on other people, like, as they get older and they don't know what to do. I think that's what helped me out, because I was like, as I started getting older, one, I feel like I phased out too, because the younger generation of the badasses, these younger guys are so cool. I was like, dude, they don't know how to work. like hipster service. Oh God, it could ruin a restaurant real fast. I had one of my first, when I first moved to Austin, I went to go eat at, what the hell is that place called? I don't even know what it's called. I haven't gone there so long. It's on the drag. It's Kirby Lane. I went to go eat it. I went to go eat at I guess one of the original Kirby Lanes, like, years ago, and like, I think it was like 2006 or something. I was in there, and I went and I met a girl, and she goes, hey, let's go eat over here on a date. So I was like, okay, cool. I went on a date, went to go eat with her. It was cool. We met up, and we talked, and then we went our separate ways. And then randomly, I went on 2 more dates that week, and they both, because of campus, and it was West Campus right there, they both chose to go eat there. Well, the guy that one of the things that one of the podcast videos I read, I saw that said things don't do is don't drink carbonation, and I'm like, oh, we're always drinking like club soda or like a soda or something's always burpy. So we break the rules. There are no rules. No, but basically what happened was this guy, the waiter that I had the first night, he recognized me the other 2 nights, because it was like Monday night and then like a Wednesday and Thursday night. And then he broke the line. Like he broke the hey, so you're bringing all your girls here or something? I was like, what? Like the second time you just had a date the other night. It's another date. I was like, what the hell? And the third night he did it, but the third night I caught him, because and he's this time the second 2 nights he wasn't my waiter. Like he was just doing it. Like I was like, because I guess hipster.
He's just coming out of his way to like bust your balls about bringing somebody else there.
Yeah, so I was like, he's like, oh no, or like trying to be cool, I guess. Or I guess he was just like I could tell him, see him like being, oh, I hate those kind of guys. I think they just go on dates. I was like, dude, I just moved here. Like I'm trying to figure this out. I just ran into this girl, and we're at a house party or something. I forgot, and he does that. And
he's
then
a feminist is what it is.
And the third one I got him, because I go, hey, so because the third time I said, let's go to Kirby Lane. She suggested Kirby Lane. And she goes, oh, well, I don't want to eat there. You said you already ate there. I go, no, let's go there. Let's go eat there. And the second, it's funny because she's a redhead, and we're eating there, sitting down, and the guy comes up and goes, another one. Wow. I go, hey, dude, I don't know you. Why are you talking to me and my sister like that? and he goes like, I got him. I was like, you a-hole. Like, what? And now being a waiter for so long and gone through the service industry, I was like, what the hell was this dude's? And it was just that hipster BS, man. Like, it's service industry is like, it's a weird thing. And also like people, I enjoy people having a good time. And if you're having a bad time and it's on you, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. But if I can help you, I will, but I'm not going to bend over backwards to cater to somebody. But the thing is, where I worked at for so long, the food and the wine and everything was top notch, high quality. Like, it was I've seen so many people go in there. Like, I see couples, because it's a suburb, you see the same people 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's crazy. It's insane. And these aren't like, you go in there for lunch, you're gonna eat, for 2 people, you're easily gonna spend $30-$40. Dinner is usually $90, and they're going in there eating. They're like, this is a nice little suburb. So I found a little like golden goose here in a way. And working there and waiting with people, and seeing that happen to me, and then you start making friends with people. So sometimes they're like, hey, call my wife and tell her that I'm gonna be late because I've been drinking. And you end up doing that. You end up doing them a solid or something. But I didn't know that you can get that cool with waiters. You need a minute?
No, there's like some kind of shaking or something. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Well, at your building, is it shaking right now?
No, it stopped. But
it's the service industry gods. They're getting mad at us because we're talking.
Yeah, man. It's like, hell, you lived in LA. I'm sure you experienced at least one earthquake. But I was just like, what the hell is that? And honestly, dude, like we have like got a bed that has like a vibrating function. And so I've always thought, I was like, hopefully, like the people downstairs aren't just like, feeling that or hearing that whole damn thing. But,
those animals upstairs, they never.
Yeah, right.
They're always at it. We never sleep. We never
Exactly,
sleep,
dude. But oh man, yes, like oh no, I know exactly what you mean about regulars and everything like that. Like even now working at Central Market, like I have people. There's a guy that came in the other day, and he always like gets a pound and a half of bacon. And he's like, you only got one shot, man. Like you grab the bacon, and like I've only had one person that's exactly spot on, dude. And I was like, he didn't say dude. He's like an old man, always leaning on the counter and stuff. But I was like, he came by the other day, and I was like, oh, like looking for a pound and a half.
Looking at you like this, like with the arms crossed.
Dude, no, but he's real cool. Like there's some people that are total dicks about it. Like, and very, very rarely do I have people that are just like, I want, like, there's one time where this guy came in, he was like looking for half a pound, and I had like 0.6. And he was like, that's not what I asked for.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh, shit. So, like, I had to pull some out and stuff like that. But, like, I get what he's saying. Like, yeah. I completely understand. Like, the clientele that come through there kind of, they're higher class. Like, you don't have a lot of people that go to Walmart and go to Central Market at the same time. Like, literally, there's Walmart across the street.
Yeah, the ends are both sides.
Exactly,
both
dude.
sides of
and
the
so, yeah, but like, no, and even at Domino's, man, like I would get to the point where I would have people that, you knew where you're going to, like, oh man, this is going to be a stiff, or, oh, there's this one kid, man, his name was Augustus in Stephenville, and he would only tip if his parents were there. And the shitty thing about it was that his mom opened up a restaurant in Stephenville later on.
Yeah.
And like, it was a nice restaurant. Like we would, whenever I was a general manager and actually making a decent amount of money, like we would go there and get craft beers, and like that was the nice place to go in town. They had badass burgers, like they were fucking delicious. And I figured out that was his mom, like probably 2 years into going there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like this is like, and he was working there too, and I don't think he ever waited on me or anything like that. I think he was kind of like back of house or something like that.
Yeah.
But it just kind of, it got me. One thing that I wanted to kind of touch on, you mentioned earlier that you can only relate to Dean. I have in my notes, man, but like, I feel like at some point in like my service industry career, like I was every single one of these people. Like,
oh yeah.
I was Naomi, just like, what the fuck are you doing? Hey, how's it going? Like it just turned it. Like I even had people comment like, how do you turn it on and on, turn it off and on like that? Like your customer service voice. And I'm like, I don't know. Dude, I've been Bishop, like giving people advice, like over shit that I can't even get my shit together. But I'm like, all right, yeah. I mean, like, and they're like, oh wow, yeah. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've had people like, yeah, what you said to me that one time, like, it really changed my perspective on things. I have no idea what I said to you, buddy.
I blacked out.
Not a clue. Like, Ryan Reynolds' character. What's his
Monty?
Monty. Yes, dude. Like, probably not. Yeah,
the cool
like
asshole.
The cool guy. The cool asshole. Exactly. And then you see that in Slammin' Salmon. You got Guy. Like, he's just like, oh, dude, like. Oh, you hate him. Like you can work with him, but you're just like.
I'll say I was gonna bring up about the Guy character because Guy isn't really like he's not really that like he's not hated, like he's not because he's a Miami like because he's from like I guess from Miami kind of guy. He looks like what a stereotypical Miami whatever looks like on a movie, but stereotype. He looks like that, but I was thinking like I don't really hate him. That he's that kind of guy that does those bad things because that's a guy that does that. And I will say I worked with somebody for a very long time that was very manipulative, and it was insane that this person is by far way older than me, and still pulling these little kid cards. And dude, there'd be times where like lying to my face about things. Like I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to work. I don't like all this drama shit. Like I'm just trying to work. Like I don't need all this. I don't need to talk to you about anything. Like it was always sorry, okay. It was always like an issue, and he was very dramatic, very very dramatic. And I'd be like, dude, like I even told him one time just jokingly because I've heard this line before, so I used it. And I go because he would like at times would get busy, and I would just see because there was no management. I would just see like if there was a bartender, sometimes there was a bartender, and I just see me and all the tables. So I just go into like work mode and start like bussing all the tables because I want everybody to have good service. And all of a sudden, and then plus we're pulling tips. And I'm like, where the hell's this guy at? And for weeks, for months, I'd be like, he's gone for like 20, 30 minutes. Where does he go? Like I always get caught in the weeds. So finally I said, you know what? Because I didn't want the sorry, I should not be drinking carbonated drink. I did not want the I did not want the like the tables to fall or anything. So I was always like it's just if somebody went in there for a management question, I was like, you got to come back tomorrow. I can't help you. Outside of that, I was trying to do everything else. And then finally, I caught him in the back because there was a manager that worked there. They were just not. There's 2 days during the week they wouldn't work, so it was just the servers on their own. If the owner was there, yes or no, or whoever, some kind of person that was supposed to help out, but they never helped. But I called him in the back. He was calling the other manager and talking bad about me, and I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, I was like, dude, there's a fucking like shit ton of people in the dining hall, and you're over here crying, dude. Like, what the hell? And I mean, it's just, to me, it's just kind of this, like that person that they want to do something with their life, but they're too chicken shit, so they don't do it. And yes, I said that chicken shit because that's how I was for a long time too. So I just said, fuck it, I got to do it or I'm going to end up like this piece of shit. So I was like, all right, but like working with that and seeing that, and it was just the little things that I caught on because of all the manipulative thing. This is why waiters, I'm like, waiters are really good actors. I mean, that's why it's easy for me to be a waiter. But I started seeing the patterns. Like, okay, when this happens, he runs over here and he does this. Okay, so once I caught his little pattern, because I kind of have to, because being around my mom all the time, you kind of always have like a manager mindset on. I'm on a movie set, you want to know things, you want to know what's going on. I was just sitting there. I mean, just seeing him there and then confronting him, and I was using the line like, he's like, what's going on? Why are you not talking to me for like, it's been 2 months. You don't want to talk to me. Cause I'll give you the silent treatment. I will give you the silent treatment if I have to work with you and I just can't get along. But I told him, I go, dude, you lied to me. I go, you're lying to my face. He goes, no. I go, dude, I've caught you several times talking bad about me on the phone while we're shift. He goes, I don't do that. That's not me. I go, what am I going to believe, you or my eyes? And he goes, me. I go, what? Like, with a straight face. Me. I was like, dude, I just used that line. I wasn't really thinking you were going to answer it. I thought you might know about that. You might give me like, psh, or what? But, like having to deal with that. It's like, dude, we're here to work. Like, and we're pulling. Why can't we work together? Why can't we be together? Like, this is supposed to be a thing. And it was just pretty. It was pretty easy. Like once I caught on to like the patterns, I was like, okay, it's just that I know what he's gonna do here. Move out of the way, because it was a way. I was like, I never understood what the owner would let it happen. Like he would harass girls and women, and they would let it happen. The chef, I worked with this other chef from South America, and this is that like Latino Hispanic bullshit. This guy was a chef, and he hated me because I was younger Latino and I was Mexican, and he was South American. And this dude threw plates at me. He would talk down to me. He threw knives at me. Like, he threw a knife at me, he just threw it. He was like throwing things. And one time I was walking, he threw it, and I didn't stop. I was like, if that sharp ass thing stabs me, there's cameras, it stabs me. And the little thing like stopped like right here, and like a movie, the little tip got sharp, went bing. I was like, oh god, he almost did that. Like, he knew to throw that amount of energy, and I didn't flinch. But that being said, like, I worked with that guy for 7 months every day, because I did work, and I have the receipts for this. I worked every day for a year and a half doubles, except Thursday nights to go play basketball, and then Friday nights of other work. So I just worked it, dude, because I know what I wanted to do. But what I was doing was paying my debt off. I paid like 18 grand off one year. I just like, all right, just pay it. I just pay it off. The little debt that I did have, I was just paying it off. I had gotten into the debt with I had an accident with my hand, and I had to get a surgery. So that was like a big chunk of like that debt.
You don't have to worry about medical debt.
Oh yeah, I know. Now I found that out after I paid it. I was like, damn it, I would have known. I would have just blown the money. But going through all that, and then like I was like, nah, dude. I developed like more of a persona. I wasn't really the Naomi, because that's not in me to be like. I am now like that because I got to be like. I think that's more of a manager thing too. Like, I can't, like, I don't, like, I think because you can't really show that. I was like, I don't care. I'll show you. Like, you're pissing me off because look what you're doing. Like, I'm not even trying to, like, why are we fighting? We have the common interest to make money. Like, I don't understand this. And, like, I have more.
Even, sorry, I wanted to kind of relate this to the movie, man. Like, even when was it Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
Dan, he goes in there and he's like trying to mess with the tickets, and Naomi's just like sitting there. Like she has that manager in her. Like you said, like she's aggressive. She can get people to do what she wants and stuff like that. And he goes in there and he just like fucks it all up. And she's like, "Are you kidding me?" And then goes in there and fixes it, you know. And it just kind of shows. Like I've had managers like that too. Like they'll just come in and try to do something and just totally screw it up. You know, and one thing, like going from being a manager in Stephenville and then moving to Austin and then kind of getting into just being a driver, and then I was in management for like 6 months over there, and I was like, no, I'm good. Like this isn't what I want to do for my whole life. Like I know that for a fact. Like I don't want to own one, or I don't want to have one of your stores. I don't want to be a GM or anything like that. Like there was only one manager out of the stores that I worked at that I was better as a driver than I was as a manager with her. And that's just because she was like really dead set on doing it her way. Like I would always be like, hey, we could do it this way. No, we're not doing it that way. Like, and we would kind of clash because of that, because I felt like I was going in and they kind of, you know, not to sound conceited or anything, but they kind of like, they gave a shit what my opinion was because they knew I had the experience. They knew like I could get shit done, and I would. Like I would go in and I would help them out. Like if they were backed up on the make line or something like that, and I was a driver, I'd go and help out. Like I was kind of the same way as you are. Like I'm not gonna let if I can help something, then I'm gonna help it. Like what is it? Have you ever seen that movie Robots with Robin Williams and everything?
Yes.
Mel Brooks was in that too. He was Bigwell. And, his big deal was
that's a
like
weird movie. That's a
Yeah.
weird movie. I saw it like 10 years ago, just randomly. That's a weird ass movie. They're in the suits the whole time, right?
What's that?
They're like in these robot suits. Robin Williams.
It's a cartoon.
Oh, never mind that. I'm getting confused with Let me see real quick. Oh no, I know you're talking about robots. No, there's another movie that has I know what you're talking about. Yes, robots. It's the Ewan McGregor's in it.
Yeah. And what was the Bigwell character was all like, see a need, fill a need. No, like that was like I would kind of say that to myself, you know, just like I saw that. I think it came out like 2005. But that was and so I was like 15 whenever I saw it. So I was just like, oh yeah, that's good. You know,
no, because I thought about this other movie for some reason. It's like an old weirdo movie.
I want to know what the hell you're talking about.
I gotta look it up. But I was like, it was a weird movie that I remember watching like 10 years ago. I think it was Robin Williams and someone else, but they're like in like it's like it looks VHS ish. Like it looks really bad. I gotta look it up.
It's not Toys, is it?
No, I know Toys. No, it's not. It's like a low budget movie. It was like one of the. It was like movie. I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't remember seeing it at the theater. I remember watching it like on TV. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
This is intriguing.
It might have been,
dude. This is my bread and butter. Like people, have you seen that movie? And like, give me details. Like,
I don't even know the movie. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know the movie. I just remember seeing like I thought you were talking about that, but you're also talking about. I've seen Robots a lot actually. When my little brother, because my little brother, I watched that one with him a lot.
And Robin Williams was for sure in it.
Mm-hmm. No, he's in it. Yeah, he's good.
Okay, all right.
I'll say that with people like with anybody listening, when I said I have like one or two server friends that I'm so close with, but outside of that, you know, seeing these characters in this movie, even like I like the Calvin character. He does remind me of someone that you would actually work with at a restaurant, like even just someone waiting.
Is everything okay, dude? Like I said, man, like I feel like at some point in my service industry career, like I have been that person.
I have actually,
like I have been each, you've been that insecure person. It just kind of depends on the day, man. Like there's one day, like I was off of work at Domino's and I just like spent all my money going to this music festival, and I just like came in and I just had like a fucking breakdown in Domino's. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I was talking to one of my buddies. I'm pretty sure he was a roommate at the time too, and he was just like, oh man, it is what it is, dude. And, like that motherfucker would come in, he would drink so much the night before, he would work morning shifts and still be drunk driving. around town, pizzas.
I
And
can't say anything. I was said, but I'm saying about when I worked at Sam's Club, man. I would go out and drink, and then we had to be up at 5 in the morning at work, and they'd be like, "Do you still smell like alcohol?" I go, "Well, I didn't go to sleep."
yeah, dude, like, oh man, like I had, dude, for sure. I did some questionable things as a as a young driver at
Oh,
Domino's for sure. Like there for a while I was like, let's see what I can get away with because I was closing it, man. Like, and it was in a small town. I mean, we closed it. It started off at oh shit, what time did we close? 1,
yeah,
I think. 12. No, no, I think it was 1 because we didn't. I didn't get used to closing at 12 until I was in Austin.
yeah. The
And
go
yeah,
for it.
so I would maybe stop by my house and you know get right. We'll
Hey,
say that.
well, I mean, that's not like the. I mean, oh God, I got so many dumbass stories. We found some cell phones that were made out of flasks, or they're,
Yeah.
yeah. So with flasks made out of cell phones, I don't know how to say it, but my buddy and I, we get sake. We pour them in there and we sip on them and then go to the bars because we couldn't afford drinks. So we still, I mean, we're like 24. Shit, we're not even like
Yeah, dude.
we're not even like teenagers. Um, you learn to live on the. But once you learn, you start making friends with people, and then you start working, and you start getting hook up fat. Like, oh, this guy works where? Oh, you work there? Oh, hell yeah! Here, your $119 tab is now $8. Like, what? Like, how the hell did you do that? Like, because they know they're like, well, that you're still gonna pay $118. You're just gonna tip me that, like. Um,
Yeah.
I didn't like for being I was never the Monty guy. I mean, I have confidence when I do stuff, but I'm not like conceited or like I don't know. I also noticed that I don't talk too much to a lot of people that much. So when I talk to you on the podcast, I truly have my guard down, and I'm just talking like a friend. But I forget we're posting these online, so it's like
Yeah.
I'm blobbing out. But it's what I
It's
mean. It is
like
what it
kind of
is.
just like hey, get right, Like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go any further than that. I don't want to
yeah.
incriminate myself too bad.
Oh man, I already
Uh,
yeah.
not not
But
that I
even
think I'm
like
gonna get a job.
I'll say this though. With that being said about that, in the service industry, there's a lot of getting in trouble. There's a lot of criminal activity, not just like at the parties. I'm talking about like, you drive or you work or you sell something over the counter, you accidentally sell some minor, stuff like that. You get in trouble a lot. There's a high risk to that job.
Yeah. Um, it wasn't bicentennial, man, was it?
Nah, dude, it's a weird. I gotta look it up. It's not. It's actually not. I don't even think it's like a movie. I don't know what I saw. I gotta see what it is. It's probably not even Ron Williams. I know it was like two famous actors they're big now. Which I was listening to Ben Affleck earlier today. He was doing a podcast, and it was from like March. Like it was on March 13th, 2020, so right when the pandemic started. But it was he was talking about Good Will Hunting and everything, and how him and Matt Damon are friends, and just about that what do you call it? He was doing commercials like when he was doing a little like a TV series when he was young, but it was like a really dumb one. He didn't like it, or not dumb. I'm sorry. It wasn't really budget or well liked, but he said he'd throw that at Matt Damon's face. So that was the drive that made Matt Damon kind of become Matt Damon. So Ben Affleck's like, I'm the one that made Matt Damon. Like, it's fun just seeing like that. They went through an experience that they wanted. And I think it's okay to go through that. I think it's okay. I always tell everybody, and I'm open about who I am, but I always tell everybody that with you have what was I going with this? If you have issues or you have anything, it's okay. And if you go to work and you lose some steam, it's your job.
Yeah.
It's your way of being. But I don't know, man. Like as I'm watching Waiting in the background, and he got it down. Like I working at Applebee's, they do have like that pre-heat food, that pre-made food, and and it shows you it's all gourmet. Like he's basically
Everything
calling
is made by gourmet chefs.
he's making it. He's like they're making it up. Like they're like trying to sell it to you. I did like that. The director writer, Rob McKittrick is McKittrick is he basically was a waiter, and he just wrote about his his experiences while working jobs in multiple restaurants in the 90s. McKittrick, sorry, conceived the original. It's because it's McKittrick, but I can't say that. Conceived the original concept of for waiting based on his experiences in restaurant businesses. He also appeared in episodes to tell the truth or whatever. But he was a I mean, there's not a lot of stuff on him on Wikipedia, but you know, he
It's
basically,
probably a one-hit wonder, honestly.
yeah, I think so. I mean, but he was able to really grasp that. So, you know, I have my little script about waiting tables. I actually have, I mean, I have so many years. I know I have three little things like I can really focus on. I got to pick one of them, but like service industry to me, and I don't ever talk bad about it because it paved who I am. It molded me. It got me into those greedy nights. I mean, that meme I made where it wasn't joking, man. Like you work a double, like work two doubles, and you're ready to go sleep in, and then they tell you, hey, can you club in? And then you work another double. So I just started telling like, you whatever. I'm that guy. I'm like Calvin. I work the doubles. I didn't even realize that Calvin works doubles in this movie until I saw it this time around. He's working doubles because he goes, man, I worked a double. Like that's what got me with a lot of people because I'd go work at other. I mean, I go eat at other restaurants and they'd be super dead, like Iron Cactus or something like out downtown, and I'd be like, there's nobody here. It's like, well, I've worked two doubles and I only made $80, or you know, I've worked like 2 days in a row, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of rough. But at the same time, I always told myself that why am I gonna depend on a job or any people to tip me? That's on me. So if somebody decides not to tip me well or don't, I don't care. Like it's I try to give my best service. I mean, I don't need to give me half your money to pay my tab. You know, it's like you know the 20% ATM. If whatever you get the game, you get the game. A lot of people don't tip. You know, you do get to the point where you start judging tables. Like I would see the same people all the time, and like there's a couple older couple like in their 60s, and they would come in all the time, and people like hated waiting on them because they'd only tip the guy would only live $5 no matter what it was $5. Well, I started waiting on them, and then they would come in a little bit after lunch in between happy hour, right before happy hour, and I'll just hang out with them, come and talk to them and get to know them. And then as I got to really know them, it got so easy for me to get their order down, to really just I go, and I even got to the point where the man was a gentleman, was holding, so he had a piece on him. If he had long sleeves, if he had long sleeves, he was not holding, so he could have a beer. If he had short sleeves, he was holding, so he couldn't have a beer. He'd have a Diet Coke. So, his wife would have Diet Coke. He would get the Coke. His wife would change. She'd pick between two or three things, and I usually pick for her. Like when Monty picks for the old senile guy, and he goes, "I trust you." I used to love. That's some of my favorite stories at waiting tables were from people that are just, I like you. Just I knew from I met you. Like I think they're blowing me up. I think they're cheesing it. And then they're like, I like you, dude. You're gonna take care of me, and I'll take care of you. And you hear it all the time. So as soon as you hear that, you always think whatever my tip was, it just went down. Whenever somebody's like, "You're my friend, you're my buddy," right? Like, oh, where do I leave tip? Like you're like, I don't want to hear any of that shit. But whatever, like you have to hear it. And then it reminds me because that's another thing. But my job that I could have worked there forever if it wasn't so hard. If life doesn't do its actual changes, I could have got not stuck there, but I wouldn't be doing this right now. You know. It takes me to do something like this. I have to be relaxed because doing my 48-hour film projects, going to work, and then trying to shoot a film on the same day, it was not working for me, man. It was like my energy getting pissed off, like coming home all mad. Like that's not a good thing, you know. So learning to deal with myself. Oh, I wanted to say this. I've had two busboys quit because I not on purpose, not like me trying to get them to quit, but the fact that they saw like the first day they met me, they were like, "Oh, I don't want to work here anymore because I need to do something more with my life." Because they'd been like, I'd been going in and out of this. I didn't go like I worked there for 2 years. I went to LA for a year, came back, worked there for 2 years, took 2 years off, then went back for another. Like I kind of, and I didn't really like. I was always working at restaurants. It wasn't really like I was never at another restaurant, but I was usually doing that. And every time I come back, I came back. You know, you don't get to be at your last position. You have to work your way back up. So I was hosting. I was a hostess for like 3 weeks. I was like, I don't care. All right, I know, and I got built more confidence because you know some of the regulars would be like, "Oh my God, you're back." I'm like, "Yeah, oh, okay. Can you wait on me?" I go, "Well, I'm only hosting right now." I go, "Oh, okay. Well, whenever you're waiting tables, I'll come back for you only." And I was like, "All right, cool." You know, but I told you side shuffle. The reason I did wait on that couple so much, I got their order. They'd come in here 4 times a week, and once he started tipping $7, and it was easy. I'd see them. I'd see his shirt. I'd ask her what she wanted, dude. That was it. Come chit chat, food comes out on time. The back of the house was on point. I don't have to worry about nothing. And if they messed up on them, they would get on it. If I messed up, I'm one of those guys. I pay for it, but I don't pay for it through. I'll buy the meal, but I'll pay for it to learn. I'll try not to mess up because it messes you. You don't go to work to lose money. You go work to make money. And you know, back of the house was on top. So I got to the point where I was making $28 a week just by just talking. Like they were so easy. And if they got so far, if we got so much in the weeds, they'd be like, "We'll wait for you. Like, don't worry, you'll take care of us." Like, I was like, "All right, there's $7 right there. At least I know at the end of the day, I'm walking out with $7." And I'm talking about working at a restaurant with no bussers, and sometimes like you work by yourself. So sorry, I love a lot. I'm all over the place, but I did load those two bussers. One when I came back as a host. Some guy, some hotshot guy comes in on the holidays, and he was trying to talk some mad game, and he was trying to act important. All I did was just stand there and listen to him gripe at me, and all I did was very observantly, and didn't get upset. I didn't get mad. I just heard the final thing he said, and that final thing I was able to capitalize on. And this guy comes in is a party. There's a 12 people. It's his family, and he's probably like 10 years older than me. And he's trying, and I've waited on him before, like lunch, so I kind of knew he was kind of like pompous a little bit, but I didn't know he would go this far. But he came in right away, guns blasting. He's coming in. He's all right. I need a table. And he's not a country guy. Just the way he came in. He's like, so I got my family here. 12. I see that 12 top over there. I'm gonna go sit over there. We're gonna go sit down. We're not gonna wait. And I go, that's cool and all, but that 12 top is reserved, and yeah, you're not gonna have it. And he was like, because I guess he was expecting like a female or something, or not me. So he was like, "Oh crap, this guy!" Like, I'm like, "Nah, dude, you're not gonna buy me." So the last thing he said, he starts getting mad because his grandmother's there, and she's like all friendly, talking to me like, "Hello, hello, just waiting." And he starts saying, his last thing he said was, "You know what? When I come in here, I expect good service. I expect to be treated well. I'll even pay $200 for that table right there." Oh, $200? They're actually a 12 top over here. Hold on. I went and I put two sixes together. And the other two people it just worked out that that they were waiting for the people that showed up like an hour later, so they lost the table. I was like, all right, I put it down, and I set the guy down. I go, hey, money where your mouth is, $200, and he goes, well, I'll give you $100 because this is not the exact table I wanted, but I did say 200, so here's 100. He gave me $100 bill. I walked away. I got to the hostess stand, and the guy goes, the host, the whole time I didn't realize the busser was watching me the whole time, and he goes, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen anybody do here. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, you need to show me how you did that. And I go, show you how. This guy's probably like 18, 17. I know his name was like Aaron or something. And I was like, okay. I don't even think that was it. It's something else. He goes, I go, yeah, dude. I just confidence, dude. Like that guy was talking smack. I saw opportunity. I took advantage. And he goes, I think I was supposed to meet you tonight. I have an opportunity that I'm about to squander. I'll see you later. And he just like took off. Like he did the shift and he just told me I have to quit. I'm gone. And he came up to me, shook my hand, and said, thank you. And I walked away. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess like you said earlier, like, okay, I didn't know I was going to do that. The second time it happened was there was a busser there and he was already burnt out. And I just got back on the floor. So it's kind of that same time frame. And when it gets chaotic at this place, it gets chaotic at this place. It's just a restaurant on a Saturday night, on a Friday. It's just going to be like that. You'd be expecting that, So what happened is everybody's scriping and everybody's yelling and everybody's getting mad. And this kid is looking at me. And I'm like, what's up, man? You're just staring at me. What's going on? He goes, I don't understand. Like, why are you so calm? And I go, what? He goes, everything is breaking down and you're so calm. Do you not give a shit? I go, well, no, I don't care about this shit. I care about the tables. I care about the food. I care about the drinks. But all this drama shit that's going on, I don't care about it. I'm going to put my blinders to it. I'm going to focus and it doesn't exist. And by the way, by this point, I've been doing this for like 7 years. So I was like, yeah, I'm a PTP, baby. I'm a primetime player. Like, I come to show up. I come to work. I already got, if my section's good and I can do everything, I'm not going to worry about it. And if something, I'm also a hawk. So if somebody comes talk to my table because of the guy server, if someone's going to come talk to my table, I immediately, like, what are you doing? Like, don't talk to my table. Don't, because I've had that one guy I told you about. He would do that, like exactly that guy, just kind of. And I used to get so upset because they say we look alike, and I'm like, dude, I'm a whole foot taller than this guy. How do we look alike? And it's not even the same skin color. Like we're both brownish, but I mean he was brownish. I don't know. I'm dark brown, whatever. And I was just like, dude, why do they get us confused? But it always happened where the last time I remember real hard was this guy was gonna rip my head off over a drink. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I go, and I'm not a guy to get in your face, but he was getting in my face. So I was like, dude, what's going on? And his girlfriend or his fiance, I think his fiance she was like, Harold, what are you doing? Why ask this guy for a drink and he didn't bring it to me? He said yes 3 times. He's avoided me 3 times. And then she goes, "That's not him. You've been asking this guy, and he's been avoiding us." And my other guy was right behind him, but was right there. And that guy goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he tried to like follow the other waiter to the back because she knew what he was doing, because it's kind of a some. And I found out the guy waited tables, so that's why when he caught on, he was like, he was an older gentleman. So he was like, "Wait, I know some." So I always like that when I'm waiting tables, when someone shares, I've had time to share a story with me, I would listen to it. But you also hear, you're going to hear this a lot about me if you hear my waiting table story. Apparently, I talk a lot at the tables. The reason I did talk a lot of the tables, I'll admit, I did talk a lot. I'm talking a lot now. You've been listening. Thank you. I would talk because I got my shit done. I made sure you look at my books, you can actually look through my notes and you can follow it. I didn't have like chicken scratch, like everything is precise, seat numbers, everything. So I knew exactly how long it takes the food. I knew exactly everything was on. If I even had a curveball, if somebody ordered things late, I'd be like, look, that's going to take 18 minutes. So just to give you a heads up, I don't want to hear anything for 18 minutes. And I'll tell, like I get away with like a lot of that. Just like telling people, I mean, Slammin, Connor goes, "I don't really cuss at table, but you guys are pretty cool. It's fucking delicious." I didn't know. If you cuss at me, I cuss back. I cuss right with you, not at you. I cuss with you. And there was always times where people were like, other servers are like, 10-year vets told me, here I am 2 years into the thing. And one time this guy comes up to me. He goes, he's kind of hammered. We're in Westlake, and he goes, "Hey man, where's the fucking restroom at?" And I go, "Oh motherfucker, it's right fucking there." And then the other fucking servers, there's 3 of them right there. They're like, well, that was like, hey, whatever. I can relate a lot to. Okay, so we've already talked about work and whatnot in these movies.
Dude, let's get into these movies.
I guess we can even like, man, I don't know how we're gonna do this one. Everyone, you're just gonna hang in with us because this is us. This is us times 10 because we have a lot of service experience. With waiting, dude. Just all the little stories I just had. You just pick them up by accident, man. There's just shit that happens to you. I didn't even realize that like all these characters. You're right. You do go through. I mean, we have a couple repeat offenders in this movie.
Oh yeah, let's see here.
You already butchered her name the first time. From waiting.
Anna Faris?
Anna Faris is a repeat offender. No, you know what we're talking about.
No, she isn't.
In the bartender, she plays Tyla, the lesbian. That's the only position I didn't really play at the restaurant.
Yeah, who is she?
Emmanuel. No, she's from Super Troopers 2.
Oh yeah, dude, I totally forgot about that.
She's in it. Yeah, she's the bartender.
Dude, we definitely have repeat offenders in Slammin' Salmon, like definitely for sure. I have them written down.
Oh yeah, I don't even know where to be with them because it's kind of the same people, but like I love seeing the other people, the repeat offenders. What's up?
Also, shenanigans. All right, is that a call to Super Troopers? Or I was look is that a real? Because it's like, hey Farva, where's that place that you like with all the goofy shit on the wall?
Oh, shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, shenanigans. Dude,
so
I didn't connect it. You're right.
Yeah. So that possibly could be, especially. Well, I mean, she was Super Troopers too, so that wouldn't technically be it is, but later on.
Oh, it is. It's a later offend. But this is kind of one of her first roles, I want to say.
Yeah.
Dude.
Wow, dude, I didn't even catch that. Like.
Oh yeah.
I do like her. Have you ever noticed how weird a penis looks? Like, dude, just the shit she says and that. And then when Monty comes and tries to get, it's almost like she tried going out with Monty and just was like, I'm gonna be a lesbian now. Like that's almost what it seems like, dude. That. Like, yeah. Like,
well, you can see that. I mean, Monty, like that guy does exist. Unfortunately, we've talked about him, this character, a lot.
Dude, Ryan Reynolds was like honestly the best person to play it because like, what was that scene? He's like, well, and then was like, you don't get sex from him, and then there's really no reason to call him again. Dude, and it's like he says it like exactly the same. Like it's it's uncanny. You know, it's like the editor went in there and just edited like that.
Yeah.
He just made the same. But I know he didn't. Like I know that was just Ryan Reynolds getting that line perfectly.
Well, then,
You know,
she doesn't call you. So then there's no reason. You give a girl a number and she doesn't call you. Then there's no real reason to call her. Oh, no, she goes, she won't
like
sleep with you. And there's no reason to call her. And then she does sleep with
he
you.
does sleep with you.
And then there's no real reason to call her. Or call
You
her.
know, and
But
he just like hits that like it was just is perfect, man. And that's what makes Ryan Reynolds so damn good, if I might say so myself. Like this motherfucker is just he's Deadpool. I mean, like he's
I
dude.
can't, I'm gonna admit this. I'd go, especially at that point, you go gay for the guy. It's easy. It's easy. I'm not ashamed. He's a good looking guy. And it's like it's funny how that scene where he
He's
shows
funny.
his and he's funny and he shows his six pack off. I think it's him doing that because that's when he really started. Because that's after Van Wilder, and he already started working out a lot and he started doing his action movies. And I think he did the Third Blade. But I think
Yeah.
that scene he's just showing off his muscles. Like that's just Ryan Reynolds being like, look at me, like.
Yeah.
But it's also the whole like the Monty character being and he's pretty smooth, but he basically takes you around the whole restaurant. It's him and Radamus, played by our favorite Luis
Luis
Guzman, the
Guzman.
Radamus. Sorry,
Yes.
he's oh man, I love Luis Guzman from one of the Latino characters, actors that's made it from like the '90s, I think maybe in the '80s. He's a good actor, man. I've always enjoyed a lot of his work.
I love his accent, dude.
Oh yeah,
Dude, and it's just like it's the I think probably the first time I ever saw him in a movie theater was or in a movie theater in a movie was Anger Management. That's like my first recollection of him. Um,
I saw him a lot.
but
I think the Cowboy Way. I saw him in the Cowboy Way, but I saw a lot of him. He's a Puerto Rican. He's Puerto Rican, so you know it's cool. We have Latinos, and like I was telling Ben before we got started with well, we'll get to Simon, but for having like Luis Guzman in this movie and having his character, it's between him and Monty. They kind of take you to the restaurant and tell you like the ins and outs kind of thing. Um,
oh,
the
it's
whole
so veiny. Like,
oh
dude,
yeah, he gets caught like that part with what's Cheese name in the movie, the dishwasher
Bishop,
Bishop. He goes with
dude,
Bishop
and I
and
love Foist. Like,
Foyt.
I love that shit too, dude. Like, oh
the,
man,
the, the dishwasher guy at a restaurant because even Rodimus is supposed to be what the head chef and he does that
yeah.
and then so it's like the dishwasher guy usually is the voice of reason. When I was bartending one time and by the way, I thought bartending was fun when you're younger. As you get older, bartending sucks. Like people, you can't keep up with the speed of a lot of stuff, but then people like just come and complain to you and you're like, shut the hell up, this $2
Dude,
is
and
worth
they're
it.
drunk too.
Exactly. You've been
Like,
drinking. Like I don't like that. Like I'd rather do like non-alcoholic and cocktails and have to deal with like the bullshit that comes with drunks. And I know I was a drunk myself at times, but I've tipped a lot, so I've made up for it.
yeah,
And that's no
same.
excuse
I
either.
was,
There's no excuse for being a piece of shit sometimes, but or being a drunk mess. It happens. But even like the Bishop character at any restaurant, I was talking to one of my friends. He's like, "Why has the damn dishwasher got so much problems? They got so much drama." And I was like, "Dude, it kind of does. They kind of They kind of have a lot of bullshit. That's why they're kind of chill at the station." One thing I did wanted to say that one time we had a guy work at the restaurant that was a dishwasher because the owner was like, if you want to work, I'll give you a job. Any jobs, you want to move up, you can move up. It's up to you, but I'll give you opportunity. Well, she gave this homeless guy a job, and he would ride his bike out there to Westlake, and he'd do it. And then he got his first paycheck, and he said, "Nah, hell with this." And he stopped coming. And one of my coworkers I was like, "What happened to the guy? He was actually a pretty cool guy. We found out he was homeless." And then he goes, what happened? Well, once he got paid, he realized I fucking hate working. He's like, he basically got the check and he said, I fucking hate working. I'll see y'all later. And he left. Like, that's why I'm homeless. Because he's like, just like he goes, I didn't even want this job. She offered it to me, so I took it, and now I got paid, and I don't care.
yeah, dude. Like, okay, so whenever I first started over here in Central Market, it was the weirdest like experience, like getting hired on because they do like a group interview. You do 2 of those, and then you do a one-on-one interview with like the department manager that you're going to be working in. And in my first group interview, there was this guy in there. He used to work like special needs children and everything like that. He had like 2 degrees, like a master's or something. He was applying to be a dishwasher. And then he was like if one of his questions like, is there room to move up? And it was like, dude, why are you even starting there? Like, it did, like, I'll see him from time to time, like coming like whenever actually I don't anymore, but whenever I was working over on the line, like I would see him from time to time. I was like, hey, what's up, man? Like I don't think he recognized me, but I was just like, what if you have all this qualification, like why are you wanting to be a dish? It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, what
And I get maybe like working your way up, like you said, like starting at the bottom and just kind of getting higher and higher. But dude, like if you have that much to like just start in the middle and then work your way up. Like
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like if you want to open your own place and you want to do every position because you know I would like I think I have enough experience and knowledge at the point now where it's like I'm doing I could open my own place, but I do really want to be stationary like that right now. I want to do more stuff.
same.
But also the thing with that being said, like going to work in a restaurant, like now I'm that guy that like I never realized like on a resume or like a job interview, do you have any questions for us? I was always like, nah. Now I'm like, okay, hold on. When you guys say you take days off, we get days off or not? Because apparently a waiting job is supposed to be a job where you can get time off. It's flexible, but you guys don't. None of the jobs here make flexible. Like you have to work or you lose your shifts. Like what the hell? And I tell them that, and then it always work out for me for like 3 or 4 weeks at a place, and then I'd end up like leaving because they'd be like, well, he did tell us that, and he was upfront with us, but he's not really working with our schedule. Oh yeah, because the inconvenience that you always put on somebody, I'm not gonna let you. I already have a place, like I already have a home. I'll just go back to that place and work there, and that's why I mean it was easy for me. I never like quit. Like I'll just work at more. I work at 2 or 3 restaurants at one time. I got the idea because I was a lot of my friends turned into bartenders, and they got tired of working at the same bar, so they would work bartend downtown, one bar a night, hopefully make a bill, scratch a bill. And make like hopefully $700 a week if that back then that was good. Nowadays it's ain't nothing over here, but
Yeah.
like just to I don't know how we're doing this dissect or whatnot, but just the whole circle with Dean, the full circle where the I will say in the Rednecks and Westlake, they were never like that with me. They were actually the best ones. They'd always like wait. One actually paid. I got what had happened to me? Oh, when I broke my hand, well, my hand. There was a time when my hands kept breaking. One of my hillbilly patrons, my regulars, she was a nurse, so a nurse practitioner, or she was a nurse, but she was like she saw my hand. It wasn't healing, so she was like, they just opened the ER, the little emergency room, like not too far from there. She was like, go over there, and I'm gonna pay for it right now. You'll pay me later. And I was like, you need to get your hand fixed. I was like, what? Like, you're going to do that for me? And she did it. But I was like, dude, she's one of the rednecks people. I never thought, like, I would never see caring.
Mhm.
And sweetheart, like, I gave her, it was like a $500. I gave her the $500 and she gave me, like, she didn't want to accept it. I was like, no, I'm not going to be that guy. I know. I was like, nah. She's like, honey, no. And then she went around and bought like a sandwich and tipped me $200. I was like, why are you doing this? Like, keep your money. But that guy, being said, that they're not all like that. The rednecks,
No.
they're all not like that. But the Dean
She's gonna
character,
have a Coke. It's our
it's
anniversary.
anniversary. The Dean character tells him, "You need this more than I do," and at the
Mhm.
end, Chet Miller tells him, "You need more than," and he really does need it more than him. I don't know, like if he really
Yeah.
does need it, but like it's funny how things come around, and that's one thing I always believe about karma is definitely, especially in restaurants, you got instant karma. So I don't ever like.
Oh, dude. Yeah. No, tip karma. It was a real damn thing. Like whenever I would go out, I would make sure I would, you know, especially going out to the bars and stuff, I would tip like nobody's business. Like I would make sure they were taken care of no matter what, man, because I wasn't, like I said, I couldn't expect getting tipped well if I didn't tip well.
Yeah. I,
It didn't make sense.
I'm at the point now where since I did it for so long, I want standards. Like if I get shit service, I'm gonna be like, yo, man, like I did this for so long. Like even like woman or guy or whatever. I'm like I'm not gonna undertip or anything, but I'm just gonna say like I'm not coming back. Like you're gonna get this 25%, but I'm not gonna come back.
Yeah.
And that's even worse. And it's very rare for me to find a waiter that reminds me of me. It was very, very
Yeah.
rare. But when I find that waiter, it's a good time because I stay real quiet and I let them do the spiel.
Yeah, and like I said, my experience hasn't really been with waiting. Mine was more of quantity, more or less than just like standing around and I didn't have that. I didn't have that time with the customer. Like it was very fast. The only time I would have that time is like if I was a manager and I was working inside and they were having to wait, and that normally wasn't a good thing. all of my experience has been with fast food. You know, like
Yeah.
in and out. Like I definitely would have customers, man. Like hell, in Stephenville, I had a guy that would come in every Saturday, order the same damn thing. Like, you know, I'd see his name pop up, and I was like, oh, Mr. Carlson. Yep, he's
Yeah.
getting that half extrav with extra. Was it no mushroom or extra mushroom, and then half pineapple? Oh yeah. One side had no mushroom, so it was the extrav, no mushroom, and the other half was ham, pineapple, and mushroom. Thin crust, no oregano. Like I still remember that shit.
Yeah.
And it's been like 4 years since I've taken his order. You know, every once in a while he'd get a large or something like that, but he's like, oh, you know, my kids are in town or something like that. But he was the like, if you messed up his order, I mean, he was pissed.
Yeah.
But you know, he was a cool dude, and he was, like I said, he was fairly older. So like by the time I was leaving, like he was coming in with a cane and stuff like that. And sometimes he would, you know, I'd bring the pizzas out to his car. But you know, like people like that, I never, you know, he might have tipped me like maybe 1 or 2 times, but those weren't the ones that like I was wanting to tip for, man. They were just really good customers. They were regulars. You know, you get that those people that you like, man, just because they're nice enough to you, you know, and they, like you said, they expect standards, and they come back for the standards. You know, they know how their pizza's supposed to look. If it's, you know, not right, they're gonna tell you, and they kind of keep you up to par and make sure that you're on that level, man. And yeah,
I like. I mean, in waiting, like they really show you they don't have like a super villain in the movie. They just kind of show you the bullshit you have to go through. If you didn't like the way the steak was cooked, did you really have to eat it, the whole thing? Like that, you go through that. I mean, even the girls, like, dude, when I used to bartend for South by, I started managing little events that we do, and like I was like, girls in the front, I'll be in the back doing all the work. Like I'll do all the labor. Like y'all, because I found out real fast this smile is not better than just a resting BF. You know, was it resting BF? You know, face. You know, like that works because it's a chick. Like that will get way more tips than me. So I just like y'all sit in the front, do your thing, open beers, cocktails. I'll do them, and anything mixed drink, I'll do it in the back. I will come out and bring it. I would just do that.
I want to poke a hole in your theory, but I don't think it was a resting BF there, buddy.
Oh no, I'm saying even if they have that face, they could have that face, and I could be over there with a smile and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And that face will outbeat me, will make more money than me than anything because it's a chick. And guys are just, you know, they really like in the waiting, like yes, like those guys saying hi, like high fiving because she's waiting on them. Like I don't get. Like,
yeah.
You want to go to Hooters? Like when I go eat there, like I never got excited because the Hooters chick was like, I was like, this doesn't do nothing for me. Like, I'm doing is,
and especially in Slammin' Salmon, man, with Mia, dude. Like it was like she was just like trying to flirt with all of her customers. Like, it's your birthday. Where's your birthday suit at? Like, dude, just like, and he's wearing like that tux from like the '70s or that frilly shit. You know, like it's just so damn goofy, man.
Repeat offender, man. Randy Quaid looking guy from Super Troopers. That was him.
Was it?
Yeah, that was him.
Dude, okay, so repeat offender I have was the German dude from Super Troopers.
Oh yeah, he's back. The European
guy. He was in that, and then
the crab legs. He's the crab leg guy, and then also
he's like
the guy with the prostitute. He's gonna do anal.
yeah, dude, that was hilarious, man. So he was.
And then the manager in the beginning, even though we're talking about, I think this is gonna go back.
He was in Beer Fest.
He was in Beer Fest. Yeah, that guy. Let's throw a shout out to him. His name is Nate Faxon. Or sorry, Nat. It's N-A-T. I totally messed that one up. Nat Faxon. And by the way,
did you say Fat Naxon?
No, I'll be. Oh wow, that'll be messed up. My dyslexia is kicking in. Eric
strikes again.
Eric Stolhansky, the guy from the Broken Lizard group. I don't know if you're aware of this. I purchased P90X like 10 years ago, and he's on it. The workout videos. But you find out something about him in that video. He's missing his leg from the knee down to his foot. I think it's his right leg.
Really?
And I think what I found out, and I don't know, this was years ago. I think he says it on the thing, or I read about it. I think it was an accident that happened when he was a kid, like really, really, really young. He lost his leg. So yeah, that's
Whoa.
something. That's something to think about when you see him running around in freaking not Beer Fest, the other one, the Bahama Bill
Broken
Paxton.
Lizards?
Yeah, the Brooks.
Or shit. Dude,
Damn.
that's like the
Club,
only movie
Club
that they
Dread.
have is like Broken Lizards, Club
Club
Dread.
Dread.
Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing that they actually put their name on.
I know why. That's we'll figure that out.
Yeah, I don't either.
So we'll just stick to waiting for a little. We're kind of going back and forth. I don't mind. We said this is gonna
Yeah.
be. So we, you have
Penelope. That's my favorite thing.
Penelope. Oh, there's also another.
Penelope.
There's. I think she's in that movie. Amy is the girl that the love interest for Penelope for Steve Lemmy's character.
I
Pedro.
think you're right.
I think she's in it. She plays one of the love. So that's a crossover there. That's pretty cool. But
The 6 degrees.
oh yeah, and then Dan is as a manager, David Kochner, Kochner.
Koshner, I think.
Yeah, he does a really good job. I'll get you guys fired. Then yo, MTV raps like the pre-shift meeting. He does it perfect. Pull the turn
Little
the fish.
extraordinary. Dude, and he has his like leg up on the chair and stuff like that. It's really about the power.
And all the little petty shit. Yeah, the power, the little petty shit he does, gets the car towed. Like every little thing he does, like he's like, I'm kind of a big deal. I love at the end. What are you gonna do? Mail me my Sunday? What the hell are you gonna do? But they goes like, where's my Sunday dream? Is Natasha here? Like, oh, he's wearing a shenanigans shirt. I didn't even realize he's wearing.
Yes, like, man,
he's a
the amount of, he's such an idiot. Like, did
did
you notice that? So whenever they showed like his community college degree, it was like Daniel Chris Pratt, and then Anna Faris. Anna Faris ended up
having kids. I think they're divorced now, but his name's Chris Pratt on there. I didn't catch that. But that
might have been Christopher Pratt, but still.
How do you? Oh yes, though. How do you feel about that? Like Dean kind of going in there and seeing like, yo, that can be you. That's your future. If you. But it doesn't.
Yeah, dude. Shit hit hard, dude. It really did. Just because, like I said, I was in that position, and I had that position kind of moving to Austin. I mean, they were pressuring me to, get into management. Like, oh, like you could have a store in a year and all this other stuff. And it was just like, cool, man. Like, I know what I want to do. That was one cool thing about like working for Domino's for so long in that one little town, and then coming here. It's like, I know what I want. I know where I want to be. And like I said, I gave it a try for like 6 months, and I was just like, this isn't what I want. I have more flexibility as a driver. I can, manipulate my schedule. I can, I really can. Like, I know what you need as far as drivers go. I can make good tips. I have constant money coming in. I have money in my hand every night, or day. And if I work during the day, I can stay as long as I need to make that, make whatever money I need. That was, that whole Dean character, like, this is an exploding opportunity, and it's just like, dude, it's not. Like, you can go be an assistant manager anywhere, especially if you've been I feel like if you have been in a restaurant for, what was it? He said he'd been there for like a year or two.
Yeah, 2
like
years.
You can go into another restaurant and you can pick up that slack. Like, he knows what's going on. He knows how it works. Like, the experience thing, it definitely helps. Like, I have on my resume like general manager, and that boosts a lot of stuff. Whenever I got hired on at Central Market, like the talent coach, she was like, what's your pay range? I was like, he'll come from Austin. I was like, like $12, $13. She was like, ask for more. And I was like, oh wow, like, thank you. So I knew going into it, like, okay, I can, I'm not putting the right price on my experience, like I'm selling myself short.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how Dean feels whenever he's he sees Chet and he gets offered this opportunity to stay in the same place and grow in a company that he doesn't really feel like. He's just going through the motions. And that's what all those wait staff people are doing. They're going through the motions. I mean, Monty, he's kind of like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. Naomi, like that's her gig, man. Like that's where she makes her money. But I mean, with Dean, like he's even from the get go, dude. Like his mom's like, oh well, he's doing this and this. He's like, oh, I mean, I bet you his parents are so proud.
Yeah.
Like this is more of like a comedy drama for me. Like it definitely has more comedy than drama, but it's it definitely has that feel. Like I, you know what I'm saying? Like
Nah,
it's
dude,
more like a.
I'm just laughing. I'm not laughing at that. I was getting ready to bring because I know exactly what I was going to lay around that, and I realized another repeat offender is Justin Long, Jeepers Creepers. I we didn't even bring that up. But
dude,
no,
that was right in your face.
I know, well, like the Dean character, man, and like you said, going through the motions. I feel with him it's the scariness of not knowing what to do. That's what really beat me down. Outside of the depression. The fact that was a crazy thing how you do kind of meet people with personalities at restaurants. It suits well for them, some people can have a personality and make a living. I mean, anybody listen to this, like if I don't know what the state of waiting tables right now is, and I'm out of it, so as much as I want to go back into it, I really shouldn't, unless it's my own place. But I'm saying, like, I was able to buy my house, buy my car, get all this stuff, get my stuff going, set myself up. It's just planning, it's just financing, and not learning to live within your budget and within your means. And I think I think a lot of us that are lost, we think money is gonna hinder us or help us, and it's really not. You should just be doing what you really want to do, and that's the whole thing with the bishop telling Dean, like, your own penis game. I didn't get it till this time around, where I go, oh, it's really like and that's why he gives him that look, like, come on, man, like, quitting is that penis game, and he goes, what do you, or taking that, not taking the job is me starting my own penis game, and he looks at him like, duh, like, that's what you're supposed to do. But I think it is definitely, and I think they say it not even with Amy. They say a lot of dialogue. It's time for him to shut off and get off the pot. Like, you know what I mean? Like him, fucking Ryan Reynolds. He is good at this role. They're singing to the kid, and he just goes like those stupid little, fun. Like even with Calvin, fucking piss, man. Like, I felt like they just they just had the camera rolling, and they y'all say whatever, and he just said that, and that stuck.
Dude, I always thought it was funny that Calvin had no problem playing the penis game, but he couldn't piss in public. Like he's like, "Oh, look at that right there!" And Bishop's even looking at him like, "What's the matter with you?"
Well, that part too, like he's willing to still play the game. He can't stop from playing the game. I didn't work at restaurants with like that. The ones I did work at where they played games, wasn't there long enough to play the games, or I wasn't. People didn't like mess with me because they just thought like, I don't know. I used to work around with white coworkers, so like. Yeah, like they just were always like, is this guy gonna get mad or something?
I had one question for you, and this really kind of came up in waiting. Did you ever mess with anybody's food?
Oh, fuck no, dude.
Yeah, me neither.
Fuck no, dude. I do not touch. Like, that's one universal rule, and I understand why at the end of the movie Dane Cook is the biggest piece of shit in this movie, because he fucks with your food, man. Like that. Oh, I'm nah, dude. Like I worked where we well. Man, I worked where I've seen people fuck with. Like at my place, I would jump on the staff. I'd be like, "You're not fucking doing that. It's not a fucking joke." There's people. Like, I'd get on people, and I go, "Let's get the owner real quick." Oh no, I go, "Do that shit again." Like, I'm not being a tattletale. You're fucking with everybody's life here. Like, someone tells you like, they don't want cream because they're lactose intolerant. Don't put fucking cream in this shit. Like, be respectful. It's not, it's not about being nice these days. It's about being respectful and respect people. It's just your job. It's not. They're going out to have a good time. Like, enjoy them. If you're not having a good time, don't be there. I was burnt out. I'm not gonna say I wasn't Naomi, because I was. I was. There is a little bit. This is basically one person split apart, and you get all these personalities because I was all those people, just minus the Monty part. I do have a strict rule, and there's a reason why you work at a place for 9 years, because I have I don't shit where I eat rule. I don't sleep with my coworkers, so if you can learn that rule, you can go far. Because that was like the dating thing. Like they bring it up in both movies, or not. They don't bring it up in the second one. They bring it up in the first one. It's like they make it obvious, but Radimus and what's her name?
Come on, baby.
Come on, what's her name in the movie? What's the hostess name? Where are we at? Oh my
Also
god,
Amy.
what? Not Amy. It's Sorry, I'm gonna have to look this up. We're gonna have to wait for this one. It's not Danielle, is it? Or is it Danielle?
Yeah, it is. I think it is.
Is it Danielle? Is she the? Yeah, she's the girlfriend, right? Oh wow, she's in Cabin Fever, Never Been Kissed, Death Proof, Hostel Part Two. Yeah, she did some horror movies there.
Interesting.
Oh no, this is the Amy chick, isn't it? I can't even tell.
Wait. Let's see.
Oh, we're gonna get this right. I'm not gonna let this slip by.
Here, let's see here. All right, it's not
Oh,
Amy.
is it Caitlin Doubleday? That's Amy.
No, that's
That's
Amy.
Amy. So
Damn,
Jordan
just
Ladd.
keep on going right back to her.
Yeah. So no, so that Danielle, like, so she's with Rodimus, and even like that, having tried, like he's always calling everybody a pervert. He's even you perverts, and he's the pervert.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get you to jerk you off. I took you to the movies. Trying to jerk you off. Took you to my cousin's funeral. Let me try to jerk you off.
I love how they have that cutaway scene for both of those two. Wow, she went to Southern Methodist University.
SMU.
Dallas. Yeah. Look at her.
She's from Texas.
Yeah. Wow.
Cool. I got a Texan in the house. But even like that, like relationship, like that's a funny one. Like it's, I don't know, dude. Like yeah, I there were times where I get mad, dude. I mean, you got to understand. Like I'd have like coworkers over here talking about like, being liberal or whatever, being some kind of like open-minded person, and then telling people in the back of the house that they needed to learn English. So that I hear stuff like that, and I come here and I run into them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm with them, and it's like, like I didn't care about front of the house. I really didn't, because I was like, I can do all your jobs here, man. Like don't act like this is hard. This is not hard. A matter of fact, and I don't know if I'm gonna sound ungrateful or cocky or whatever. Dude, there'd be times where I'd be waiting tables, and I like, especially when I got to the steakhouse. Steakhouse is money. If you want to make money, you learn the menus of the steakhouse. You learn the wines. You learn to groom yourself. You do all that, because I mean, I'd probably wait 27 tables in one day. I mean, a double at the restaurant I was at all day, and probably make $200, and then work at the steakhouse and wait on one table and make $200. It's like, because you know all that shit, right? So what I'm trying to say is like, dude, it does get frustrating when someone's there like trying to tell you like, oh, I'm like, come on, this is an easy job. Like, as soon as what I was trying to say is, like, when I got to the steakhouse, I was like, I would come home and I would just start laughing, like, just like, dude, I really like I've made it, because once they told me, you're in steakhouse land now, dude. This is the mecca, like, for servers. This is where you're gonna be you're a career server. And I was like, ooh, well, I'm not taking this job too serious, so let me see what I can learn from it. But I learned a lot. I think I learned the quality was what I really liked at a true fine dining place, because man, like, people like that stuff. There's people way ahead of other people's thinking, where some people want to go and eat at a nice restaurant for a date or something and spend some money, and that's what their experience. But there are some people that they've always lived like that, so for them that's nothing. I've waited on tables where you meet the 40-year-old like spoiled son that, like from Us, the Jeremy character. You meet that you meet that guy in real life. I'm like, oh my god, you're a big idiot, but you're kind of fun, but you're loaded, and you just oblivious to the surroundings. And this is weird. Like, you do tend to, like, I don't know, wait. I don't know. I think waiting tables, I would have never spoken to someone like that unless I waited tables. So you get a lot of good with the bad. It just seems how long you can handle the heat. That's what I did. And I also, I feel like a manager position in any restaurant, like, I think it's the worst thing. You're working twice as long and making half the money. You don't make as much money as you do as your waiter. Granted, they'll take taxes out for waiters, so you have to figure that out. The Mitch character, played by John Francis Daly, he does a really good job too, man. I totally forgot that Rodimus goes in there to do the goat, and freaking Mitch is in there, and he waits the whole time to get somebody, and then finally, I think Calvin walks in, and he's like, damn it. But that's like, he's like, watch, I'll show you. Watch, I'll show you. Watch, I'll show you. Like, it never goes through. I think maybe we could just go through the cast of this movie, because it's just,
Dude, I'm just gonna start looking at my notes, man.
Go for it.
Go through it. Let's see here. Yeah, like I said, we've been each character you meet in this movie for waiting. Person personifies how you feel working in a restaurant or fast food. Ryan Reynolds is best, in my opinion. He kills this role. Even partying after work, that's one thing that you'd always kind of do. Like you said, you'd go find the party. Quick question: the steakhouse you worked at, you mentioned it's Vince Young. Is
Yeah.
that like from UT fame, Vince
Yep,
Young?
that's Vince Young,
Damn.
VY.
So he bought a steakhouse, and then he's just making money
Uh,
off of that.
he knows the owners, and when they opened up, they actually it's the Real World. Remember in Austin, the lamest Real World season was in Austin.
No.
Their old house was they converted it into the steakhouse. They bought that, I guess, for South by. I think they reopened it for a South by event, and then they did a nice. They got the steakhouse, and Vince happened to win the championship that year, and kind of two and two together. So he goes in there a lot. We don't see that in waiting. You get that in the Slammin' Salmon, like kind of waiting on celebrities. Have you ever met a celebrity while you worked?
Not while I worked. There was Ty Murray lived in Stephenville area. He's a professional bull rider. That was about the closest I got. And Robert Duvall came through town one time, but I didn't see him.
They made the town made a big spiel about it.
Yeah, man. There was so one of my managers at the time at Domino's, his girlfriend worked at the hotel where he was staying at. So I think he went over there and saw him. I honestly can't remember, but I just remember hearing about it.
I think it was. I loved working at Vince Young's. That place was cool. I'm a huge UT guy, and love Austin, so it was just kind of fun working there. But it's also like I didn't really need the money, so I just kind of was just learning and hanging out. And thing is, I noticed I never ask help when I wait tables. I hate asking for help because if you don't do it, I'm just gonna be like, I don't trust you. You're not gonna get it done. And it's as simple as it is. I'll just do it myself. I always liked it when I don't even what's Anna Faris's name in this movie. I always enjoyed.
Not Amy.
No, it's Amy, right?
Already been
Serena.
No, that's
Amy. I always liked working with someone like that, where it was like a female or like a just not really a female, just a person like that kind of personality. Like they know they're there, just make the best of it. Let's not make it a habit to complain or make it a habit to make comfortable. It's just it is what it is, And I always loved it when I worked with somebody. Kind of got this more from catering because I just got that if you're moving, there's time to lean, there's time to clean. That was their logo saying there. But South Americans, man, they're trying to get $215 out of you. I'm paying you $215. What? Like this shit. You're gonna make me clean this whole restroom, this whole floor, like everything. People are coming in here right now. I'm like full in bleach. Oh god, I just went on a tangent. But like, just I started thinking about that when I remember that happened. Like, nobody showed up for happy hour, and I remember they're like, "Well, we need to do something. You've been hanging around doing nothing." I'm like, "Hey, I'm waiting. People showed up. They got me to put on these gloves and put all this shit on, and I had bleach on me. And then I went to go clean, and then like freaking 30 people showed up, and I was like, "Oh, great!" But that was the thing. I don't ask. So working at the steakhouse was cool because I was a guy that would help out. People would be like, "That's weird. What do you want?" I was like, "Nothing." Like this is like, what do you? But then it got to the point where some people they rely on you like a busser, and you're like, no. The bussers in here, Andy Milonakis, which I thought cracked me up when we were younger. One of the things that somebody brought up to my attention was like, do you know this guy's like 25 years old? Back in 2000 or when he was on MTV when he first came out. And I was like, what? No kidding me. He looks like he's a 13-year-old. No, he's an older guy. Andy Milonakis. Let's see what IMDb says. It says he's an actor, writer, soundtrack. That's right. He likes to rap.
Yeah.
He had the Andy Milonakis show.
Got bees on my head, but don't call me a beehead.
Was born January 30th, 1976 in Katona, New York. Andrew Michael Milonakis. Yeah, he was in this movie and he plays a pretty damn good busser, I might say.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Max. What's the
T-Dog? T-Dog.
Yeah, I guess it's Max Cash. He plays T-Dog Theodore. The bussers. I don't know why bus. Yeah, Theodore. He just go Theodore. He just always get Theodore Nicholas. And he goes like that is. I think we should do their plan, man. Be like John Gotti.
Yeah.
Start growing our own shit. Then we get the boom boom, like they're delusional, man. Like where are they at? And then the fact that he has that dream, and that he tried to burn them up, like they're all angry, but they're just passed out of the whippets.
Dude, fucking naked T-Dog. Like whenever she goes to do the whipped cream,
oh god,
she knew exactly what happened, dude.
Yeah, a lot of mean girls like Naomi. The fact that she's like that, it is. I don't like working with that person. That's really hard. Like, it's cool when they're when they do everything works out for them, but then when something falls off, or like I
Yeah,
brought,
holy shit, he's 44 years old.
yeah, dude, Andy
Jesus
Milonakis, yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, he's I mean, for back then in
Whoa.
2005. Hmm.
So in 2005, he was like 30.
Well, yeah, I don't know what, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so he was, yeah, they had that. I mean, we talked about Floyd, Dane Cook. Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
Dude, yes. And tell me why we had a new guy start this week. And that was like, I didn't say it to him, but man, I wanted to so damn bad. He'd actually, this guy had come up to, he'd I guess, done a round of interviews with everybody. And he was like, he had a name tag on. He's like, yeah, do you like working down here? I was like, yeah, man, it's great. Come on down. And I was just like, we just need help, dude. Like that's all I need from you right now. Like it's not terrible. Like time goes by fast. You smell like shit after you get off work. Well, dog ass really, because
Oh.
you're just dealing with chickens and raw beef and shit like that. So you don't smell the best.
Well, at least you
After
have an excuse for that. I would just smell like that because I'm just sweating in my in a 4-piece suit. Like, it's like
yeah
78 degrees. You're okay, almost. You're okay, but 96, nope. You're not gonna do well. Um,
yeah.
you almost said, you should have said it. Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch. And if you
I
got
know,
it,
dude.
then you guys would have been like, psh, but he didn't get it. Then you'd have to. You ever seen
Yeah.
Waiting? I think
Yeah, exactly, dude. I do that all the damn time. One thing I thought was interesting is both the cooks in this movie, like Dane Cook and then Dave from Slammin' Salmon, they have a lot of the same characteristics, man. They're very like high energy and just like, what the fuck do you want? Like get out of here. Like
dude. I don't give a shit about chefs really, man. I love watching the chef shows. I love Guy Fieri. Like, he's my favorite chef. But my thing is with them, it's all freaking ego.
yeah,
And like, dude, I hate, like, it's not like before, man. Like, I'm not, this is just me going through my experience. I had rough experiences, so I'm not gonna, like, don't take this with a grain of salt. People can change. Um, so like, working with people that are so passionate, so this and that, and then yelling at people all the time, talking down, thinking they're better, and they're usually like Anthony Bourdain. We're usually alcoholics or cokeheads, and cokeheads, like,
hmm
and then you find that out, like, dude, I'm working with a freaking cokehead. He's not sharing, not playing. It's like no, the thing about like the no, did you find out all this shit about them, and they were there for all the show and all this stuff. Like, that's why I love my chef. She was like a worker, man. She was like skilled worker, and also was like putting the time in. That's why I couldn't talk shit. Like, you're just there, like, she's putting in the time, I'm putting in the time. What I did, I take initiative. You know when I first got hired, I found out we had to work espressos, and I had never done that. So they're moving into a new location. So they asked me if I wanted to go help out, set up, since I got hired. So I went to go help out a couple of days. But what I realized, that the espresso machine was there, so I learned how to use it. And by the way, I was using it wrong for 4 years. And then God, you'll get these beautiful workers, that male or female, that they just know the job. They know the job so well, and they can teach you and stuff. And the problem is, they're too good for the establishment. Like, didn't matter how high end it was, they're just kind of like, oh, this place is unorganized. Oh, this place, they yell, oh, the chef is like that. Oh, he's a groper. Oh, no, I can't work. So you work with them for about a week. But this one, I could say, I hope we were friends, but we're Facebook friends, but that don't count. But she showed me how do you do the espresso machine, like, perfect. And I was like, oh, please don't leave. She's like, I gotta go, but thank you. She just like took off. I was like her only friend for a little bit, but she was like doing everything proper. And you find those, or also where my other place was so chaotic, when we'd work, it'd be like a crazy shift, and then they hire someone new that just had experience, and they just get it, and you and them just freaking go at it, and you look at each other like, yo, that table's mine. We go, okay, yeah, that, okay. There's 6 outside, and you just kind of like figure it out. One time, I will say, I did get I did get digits one time, because of my I guess my leadership skills kicked in, and I did not see this coming. There were 3 ladies at the bar having a couple of cocktail, and I was bartending for them. And sure enough, we're understaffed, like always. And these were business women about my age. And this 2, I guess the host, those the other server and the hostess came in and said, hey, so the 2 of the positions that we need aren't coming in, the busser or the server. And then I go, I just took it. Like, I don't know what I did. I just kind of like passed out, and I was like, not passed out, but I blacked out. I was like, all right, you go make sure this station's fixed. You go and make this station fixed. I'll stay here and fix this. When people start coming in, we'll line them up here. We'll make sure everything's centered. Like, I was like, we'll take flank. We'll come around here. Come take this side. When we'll fill up the belly of the beast, and when the belly of the beast gets open, we'll move them over to another side. We have overflow. I just kind of started going at it, and they took it all in, like, okay. And then the ladies at the bar were like, wow, a man with a plan, a man that knows, ooh, here's my number, ooh, call me. And there I am, like, dude, you had no idea what I did last night. Like, I was just crying, like, myself to sleep, like, oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I didn't realize I was gonna like go into this, like, I don't know, just what I'm trying to say is you show yourself as like, you know, your job so well that it comes off as like, oh well, you know what you're doing. But I didn't believe in myself enough to kind of think that you can kind of, you know, the management position is very misleading for me, because it does make you feel like you're in a restaurant. I feel like it's helping you learn more of the beast of the restaurant, but really it's harder. And you got to deal with people and then scheduling, and I don't know how
They
you do
just
it,
give
man.
they just give you more shit to deal with. Is all it is.
Yeah,
It's management is just glorified babysitting.
I hear that
I've
a
had
lot, man.
numerous, dude. I've had numerous people like, was it somebody was I was talking to somebody recently. They were like, somebody was bitching about like, oh, I'm not here to babysit. And they're like, welcome to management, man. Like that's what you're here to do. Like that's literally the job. That was one thing that I was kind of good at, but I was more like, especially at Domino's in Stephenville, I was more on the front lines. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't very paperwork oriented. Like that was my uh, weakest part. Once I got to Austin, they actually taught me what I was supposed to be looking for. Like I had little to no training whenever I was a GM. Like honestly, whenever I took over, it was just because, you know, of circumstances that were kind of out of my control. It's just like I failed upwards, and that's really how I got positions at Domino's. And you know,
Why did you get started with
it,
Domino's?
so one of my fraternity brothers worked there, and I got I got the job that way. Uh, Funny enough, man, like in my first month of working there, I think uh, I was late. Like there was one week that I had like 20 hours, and I was late. Dude, I only worked like 10 hours that week. Like that's how bad it was. And he told the GM at the time, because he was like an assistant, he was like, you need to fire him. Like he was like, I'm sorry, like you need to get rid of him. And but like I said, they were just so short staffed that they're like, nah, we'll let it ride. And then after that, I kind of got my shit together. In my fraternity brother, he was GM for like 6 months, and he got another job and then took off. And then we had somebody come in um, who was like an assistant manager, and he'd never been GM before. And me and him were real good friends. We had a few stories, man. There's one after we get off, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good. But
Let me write that down. GM friend.
yeah, but that was interesting too, because like it was me and him were both kind of learning. Like we were around the same age. You know, he was from New Mexico, so I got to kind of figure out just to like they have green chilies on their make line. Like that's just something they have. We don't have that here in Texas. You know, that's just kind of like their thing. But yeah, man, it was kind of cool. And then after that, um, it was a husband and wife who owned it, and the husband came into GM, and he would just like he would do nothing. He would do nothing, and then like I said, there was some circumstances that happened after his wife figured out he wasn't doing anything up there. And I was working in another place at the time. Like I would work um, in the mornings at Domino's until 5, and then I'd go over to this deli at 5 and work there until like 10 o'clock at night. And dude, there were times where like I would get so far behind and stuff, because like I would close by myself over there, because like you would have enough customers
Yeah.
just to have one person working. So I was doing dishes, I was cleaning dishes, and the owner was like, man, like you're staying here too late. Like the light bills adding up, all this other stuff, da, 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 da. And so I was just like, dude, there were nights that I would just cut off the lights and do dishes in the dark, like just to, because I enjoyed working there, man. The guy was cool. I'd been eating at his place for years, and I'd put my time card in because it was just like you write in your hours,
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I just write in the hours that I was given, not really what I stayed for. Like I said, I was working at Domino's too, so it was like, I wasn't too worried about that. And yeah, dude, it was some crazy times. And right after that, I became GM, had to quit over there, and I was GM for like a year and a half, something like that. And I got to go to Las Vegas. They have a Domino's worldwide rally every 2 years, and so I got to do that, and got awesome. Yeah, it was a good time. And that year that we went to Vegas, I went to Vegas twice. I had a bachelor party I went with a couple months before, and yeah, dude, it was. I learned a lot. I really did over there. Whenever I got to Austin, I really kind of honed in my management skills, which was nice. Like I said, I really got to like, okay, this is what I was supposed to be looking for. Like, man, I wish I'd actually gotten trained on this.
Yeah, it feels weird. Even if you train yourself to the best ability, you still, you always feel like you don't know, or I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's only, and especially whenever you're just trying to. It was always like the retention rate was never great in a college town. Like you'd have like 3 or 4 people that you could honestly rely on. Everybody else was just like, they were there. They were there to make a little bit of money. Holidays came around, it was tight. Whenever summer came around, some people would go home, and then you'd have a few people that stay for the summer, but it was interesting, man. Actually, whenever I moved to Austin, that next Super Bowl, I told the owner in Stephenville that I'd come back and help for Super Bowl. Dude, so I'd been working in Austin for just a little bit at that Domino's, maybe like 2 months. And so they would charge for like Parmesan and red pepper in Austin.
Hell yeah.
And so I was helping her out, and we were up front talking. It was and I was like in my uniform and everything. This dude, like, whenever I went back, there were like 3 instances I was like, this is exactly why I left this little small town. And one of them was this guy came back and we ran out of parm and pepper. Somebody didn't order enough, and the guy was like, hey, do you know you're out of Parmesan, red pepper, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, sorry about that. We should be getting another shipment tomorrow. He's like, well, that doesn't help me right now. I was like, you're right, it doesn't. And then right after that, I was like, they charge for Parmesan and red pepper, like, in Austin. She started doing that like 2 months after I left over there. So It was, yeah, man, it was, yeah, crazy stuff, man. It was
one thing that these movies don't, like I said, they don't really have the villain, the client. No. They kind of get him in the beginning of Slammin' Salmon. That guy that, what's his name, Kevin Heffernan, Rich. He's you kind of get with Rich and
Richardo.
Richardo. That's what he calls. So you kind of get it a little bit, but dude, since I worked at a suburb and I had my regulars so much, we kind of tend to get our villains. And this is a South American restaurant, so you get South Americans in there. They're foreigners. They don't tip.
Yeah.
They get it twice on this thing. They don't really tip. They do talk down to you. Not all the time. Not all foreigners, But it's a stigma now where I think that foreigners should know about that. They should know that they're perceived at that, but they don't care. They're not from here. But
yep.
I have some villains I've had to battle, and most of them were Latino. Most of them were just older guys that it's just like, what the fuck? I got to deal with your bullshit. But I'll put up with it because, I work here and the owners and whatever. There's this guy that he owns a very, I don't know. It's now a local tequila, but I don't know if it's not local tequila. The tequila can't be made here, but like he likes to sell it and stuff. And he's an older gentleman. I mean, I don't even know how fucking old he is. He smokes a lot of cigarettes. So when I saw him, I thought he was like 90, but this was like 12 years ago or 10 years ago around that time frame when I first met him. And now it's like he's still around because I just ran into him the other day, and I'm like, he still looks the same. I'm like, well, I don't know how old this guy is, but this guy would he tried to like talk to me about this life and all this shit. I'm like, dude, you're Spaniard, cool, but you talk. He wanted to know. I tell him my name's CJ. He's like, no, what's your real name? I know you're Spanish. What's your? Tell him it's Carlos Joel. And he's like, oh yes, I love that. So he just kind of calls me that, and all this shit. Like everything you tell him, he's like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm like, all right. Well, I was at El Arroyo one time, just having drinks with a friend, like a lunch drink. So my friend was teaching at the time, and he had a day off, and he was like, let's go and have out. Let's go. All right, cool. Went to go hang out with him. Went to go use the restroom. When I come around, I ran into this dude. I'm like, one of my villains outside of the restaurant. Oh, and I just kind of tried. I tried to avoid him, but it was like where the restaurant, where the restroom's at. It goes like you have to kind of run into each other because he was coming out of it, and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "What's up?" And I tried to like go by him, and he didn't let me. I was like, "Oh fuck, he's got me here." And he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" And I go, nah, just having some drinks. And he's like, oh, yeah, margaritas. You know, you should have my tequila, but it doesn't sell it here. But you're lucky. I was like, all right, whatever. He goes, you're not lucky, or I don't know, I forget what he said. And then he goes, all right, well, I'm gonna take a round of 4 to the table, and just put it on my tab. I'll be right there. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, this is all in Spanish. The whole conversation is going on in Spanish. And he's like, oh, you want to, you're here, just take my order. I mean, go put my drinks and take them to my table. I was like, I don't work here. Like, so I cussed at him, but I was like, dude, I don't work here. And he goes, well, it doesn't matter. You're still, you do a good job. You can do a good job here. And I was like, dude, what the hell is your problem? Like, oh no. And I'd like trying to walk away. He's like, no, go get my drinks. I was like, F you, dude, I'm getting out of here. And the bullshit is like, that happened like on a Thursday, and I had to see him that Friday at happy hour. And he's like telling all his friends how I didn't want to help him out. I was like, dude. And then, it was finally one of the other guys was like, well, you're this cara de mierda, ¿por qué te quedo you? Like, you're shit face. Why would he help you out? And then he's like, he's not even, he told him like that. And like, his friend was like, oh, you don't pay. I pay. So you shut up like for the dinner. And I was like, dude, like, okay, whatever. But that was one of the villains. One of the many villains. We had another villain that was a doctor villain we had. And he would bring his escorts in there and try to play them off as girlfriends, I guess. But he was he was a South American too, and he was a very older gentleman, very very older, much older than his escorts. But he would bring him in there, and he'd want us to talk to him if they're his girlfriend of long time, and it was very awkward at times, And so that guy, another villain, it was kind of like a dad villain, and it wasn't really like a, oh my god, I'm watching the end of Waiting, and I let it play. I didn't know that T-Dog and Nick have a music video in it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all in it. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So this other guy, this guy was a dad villain. He would go like, dude, this happened not once, not twice. This happened multiple times. He would go to the restaurant. We closed at 9. He would go in there like at 8:59, dude, and he'd look at his clock. He'd be like, hey, we made it. It's still time. And then he'd come in and keep us there an extra hour and a half. Took us like forever to tell the owner, like, dude, that's not really cost effective. And it's a family. I'm like it's 9 o'clock. It's like, well, in their country they eat late. I'm like, we're not in the country. like we're staying here like way past time, and you're getting mad at us for I'm not gonna tell somebody to leave. So you just got to deal with it. But you do get that kind of that sense that, I mean, they showed it here at Chet Miller. Shows up, but we didn't, but I worked at an open face kitchen. I guess it's called open kitchen, where it shows where you can see the chefs. Though you could see people. It's not like there wasn't like other places where it's completely blocked off. Like this was open, so you can go around and see the line. It was a pretty cool concept. Now that I think about it, I appreciated having it like that, like right open. We had no expo area, which sucked, but it was all right. But like even like that with those people, like having those characters in this movie. The Waiting to me feels like a documentary, where Slammin feels like a movie about waiting.
Yep.
I feel like Waiting feels like it feels like it's a timepiece. Once again, I feel like this is a timepiece that we've come across. We found out that it's just I mean, the shenanigans looks like an Applebee's, looks like it looks like these restaurants do. I mean, I still eat at Chili's. It's my mom and I like to do that. So it's not like I'm like bad mouthing. I mean, I don't eat Applebee's. Applebee's is pretty bad. But I'll say that there are the TGI Fridays, the Olive Garden. You do the waiter out of Olive Garden, the Pepe de Poco. You throw like the guy that fights up. So like I've it's just dealing with other cultures is funny for me, because there's South American men are very machismo, or not all of them, but some of them can be. And
Yeah.
I've worked with women, and I work with the women owners. So the guy would come up to me. This one guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, where's the man at the restaurant?" I was like, "The man?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, And I was like, "Well, I don't know what you mean by man. There is no man." And he's like, "Oh, he's South American, so he's basically telling me, oh, you're Mexican, you don't understand what I'm trying to talk about." And I was like, "Nah, dude, we're speaking Spanish, you idiot." And I go, "Okay, I'll go get the man." So I went and got the owner, which is a female, and I went and got it. And then he goes up there and he goes, "Okay, okay, you brought me the daughter. Where's the man?" And he's like, "What man?" He's like, "I wanted to talk about the man. Like this restaurant is not like South America." And she's like, "I'm the owner." "Oh no, I can't talk to you. No, it's okay." I'm just like, "What the hell?" Like, well, first of all, you're in America. You're welcome. Second of all, like, what are you coming around like it's gotta do anything? Like, and then that kind of petty shit, and that like it goes back. It's bad. You deal with that kind of shit with the customer. It is what it is. You're working for tips, man. Um, accumulate enough tips, you can do stuff with it. But like it is like as we're going in from waiting. I mean, even like there's a lot of stuff we didn't really talk about. We've talked about enough stuff, I think, for waiting. But even the Monty's mom, was it Mindy Malik?
Kiss.
Um,
Yeah.
she's like a soap opera actress, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so they got her in this, and that scene alone is pretty hilarious,
Dude.
man. I mean,
Yes.
her top four on IMDb is Waiting, The American President, Emperor's New Groove, and I think this is Confession of a Shopaholic.
Who is she? Isma in Emperor's New Groove?
Uh, uh Chicha,
Oh, I guess that's the wife of
probably.
interesting.
Yeah, she's in the Emperor's New Groove. It says here, Chicha. She's like, even her scene is funny. Like, oh, what? Like, I practice, I pull out, like everything. Have you ever been in one of those conversations when someone's fighting with their parents?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like just that awkward ass stuff. Dude, let's see here.
I wonder if Chet Miller was actually like the Robert like friend or something, or if Chet Miller. I don't think. Do you think Chet Miller is? Let's see. It says Chet. It says Travis Rizor, but oh, he has a few stuff he's done. Okay, so he's an actor. I was thinking maybe he was a. Oh,
Just a random dude.
yeah, I thought he was like one of the friends, like maybe something else. But he's an actor. So it's 2005, 2008, then jumps to 2015. So he probably went to go live a life too. Um,
Yeah.
what do you call it? I thought maybe he would have been like some kind of like, what if he was like he's my real bully, or he's the real reason I did this, or
Dude, yeah, like you said, like the villain of these movies. This is gonna sound a little cynical, but yeah, dude, like you were saying, like the villain are kind of the customers. Like that's who you're working against the entire time, you know?
well, I
Like
mean,
that's and you're working with them and against them, especially in waiting. Like with Slammin' Salmon, like I said, you Cleon is kind of your antagonist throughout the movie. But with waiting, man, yeah, you have the manager who's kind of an antagonist, not really, but like I said, I would say that it's your customers. Uh, like so, that sounds really shitty, but
it
it's
sounds
kind of
very
the truth.
ungrateful there, Benjamin. It sounds like someone very privileged that doesn't need people to make money. And it's like to me, it's like, I mean, you're right. It is. It's a weird thing, but it's a tango. Once you learn
Yeah,
that it's definitely, look, as a waiter, you have to be assertive. You don't have to be a smartass. You don't have to be corny. You don't have to be funny. You just have to be confident and assertive, and understand that you are in control of the time of the people there. Do not help them. Do not make them feel like they need to go, and do not make them feel like they can stay all day. So
yeah,
basically, what I would do is I would assert the situation. If I know people are gonna talk, they're gonna sit down and they're gonna talk. That whole 2 minutes to bite bullshit, I threw it out the window. I was like, don't ever tell me that. Like I need. Some guy has been sitting there talking for 15 minutes, and the family's into the story. I'm not gonna be over there like, I need your drinks. I'm like, no, like no. And then that was my thing, because I am. And also, here's a cheat code for young people listening, or anybody listening. When you work at a place, you always want to be good with owners and management. Your employees or coworkers, like, who cares? Because when it comes down to it, if when shit hits the fan, they'll just throw you under the bus, or you could throw them, whatever. Like, people do shit like that. Your owner and manager needs to make a like a real good judgment of like, well, I know this person, I know that they're good at that. But if you don't have a good like repertoire with your owner and managers, like it's harder for you to work somewhere.
If you want to move up in management, though, I suggest getting to know your coworkers very well.
Oh yeah, if you want to be in
That's
management,
that's that's one
yeah,
thing that
yeah, like
really
owner.
kind of helped me. It's a kind of a double-edged sword. Um, just because, like I said, I had a couple of people that, man, okay, pretty much I'll put it this way. Once I became general manager, there were probably like three people in my staff that I hung out with. That's it. I would either hang out with somebody else or I would just do stuff by myself. Just because like you can't have a relationship with people and then expect them to work for you and keep that kind of deal. Now before that, man, I was hell yeah, let's go out for drinks. Let's do this. Let's do that. After I became a manager, it was just like, nope, there has to be a line somewhere. And
Oh yeah, because then
so,
they'll take advantage sometimes. But Ben,
you know,
why don't we hang out? I was thinking to myself the other day in bed, why don't I hang out with Ben? Why don't that's just like because
no,
I don't know, servers to turn into managers unless they have that or that leadership pedigree, not gonna work out, man. Because servers lie a lot. Like I'm honest about it. Like, hey, like I'll tell tables like, yo, somehow I messed up and I rang your order in wrong. But that was, I try not to do that. Or I'd be like, there was an account in the kitchen, so we ran out of the salmon tonight and they didn't tell me, so apologize. Like I'll be like, you know what? If I lose a table, if I can do everything in my best ability to take care of the people, I would. But there's something you can't control, so it's like, all right, whatever.
did that happen to you? Like probably not a lot, but does that happen often enough to where they will switch waiters and stuff like that?
I've never had a table go away from me. I've recovered.
Hmm.
And it doesn't happen a lot because they really don't want to do that. If you are doing that, that's a bad thing. One time when I came back, like I said, remember I always come back, you start at the bottom. One time I even like I forgot to tell you I like my CJ shuffles, but like when you were saying that you would go to work and you would turn the lights off, like that really reminds me a lot of myself because when we first started, they were paying the bartender like a shit ton of money, but that was because there was nobody going out there for tips, so they had a good hourly. So at one point they were saying like we can't afford a bartender, so I would just drive out there, and for 3 hours and just pour the wine and the beer. That's all it was at the time, wine and beer. And if somebody came to the food, I just put like whatever servers order, and I do it. And they'd be like, "Why are you doing this? We can't pay you." I go, "I don't care." But I did get in trouble because the owner would come out and tell me like, "What are you doing here?" I go, "Well, they need a bartender. I'm just helping out and volunteering." And then so she would try to tell me stuff. I'd be like, "I'm volunteering. You can't tell me things." Like I tell her like that, like I'm volunteering. So I did that for like 3 weeks. Like I did it 4 days, and then she'd be like, so I was bringing that up because I forgot to say it earlier that like that's kind of cool that you do that, and I would do that. I mean, it's you just you got to do what you got to do,
Yeah.
I think maybe I don't know if that was one of the things that kept me around. I mean, having a good repertoire and friendship with the manager and the owner is a good thing, but having a server go into management is hard because they're your friend, and then they go from not being your friend to being and you don't know, and also it sucks is when the server had all these bad like I don't know habits, and then they forget like they didn't have them anymore. You're like, you're the one. I learned that
Yeah.
from you. You taught me that. Like you're the one
Yeah.
who's doing. You taught me that. And when you said earlier they said babysitting. I used to get pissed off, and my manager would tell me that because I'd be like, I ain't no baby. Like you don't got to worry about me. Okay, everybody but you. And I'm like, I don't even hear that. I don't need a special sticker. Just
Yeah.
don't like just get to work. Let's work. I think I got more. I was just getting more upset just when people when my coworkers when I would get upset because they was like, dude, this job is so easy. Like, just get like, just learn it, learn what makes you better at this job, and you can move on. And you can use this experience for anything in the future. This is something
Yep.
that you have to do. But the only time I remember a big one was when I was bartending. I had to come back on a Sunday and I was bartending, and they promoted a busser, and he had been there. He's a family friend. He'd been there for a while, and so he started waiting table and started making money. Well, he screwed up on one of the tables that like a good table. He messed up bad. Like it was Chilean sea bass that they wanted, but I mean, I don't know what it was. It was he sold the wrong fish to the wrong table, and he flipped out and he was like, "This isn't my food." Because like what he said, I think what happened was what they said and what he wrote down. Like he didn't click. Like he wrote some other shit down, And what happened was when they went to the food came out, he's like, "That's not my food. They didn't order that." And then he's like, "No, look, the table." And he went back. He's like, "Oh my god." The table came back, went around, like, it's like 6 people, all the table, all the food came out and everything. And and the guy goes, "Hey, we didn't order that." And he goes, oh, I've been cussing, but I'm trying to cut it down. He goes, he just got like he's real pale and he got really red. And he said like something like, fuck. And I was like, oh shit. And I just like kind of quickly came around the side and I got him. I was like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Pull him out of the side. And he's like, "I fucked up that order. And then like people started coming in and we lost him. So they were like, "CJ, you got to take that table." I was like, "Can you fix that?" I was like, "I don't know. Let me do my clown shit. Here comes CJ." Like I was thinking like, this is a lost table. There's no one at the bar. I'm going to hang out with you guys. And ended up like, dude, they were there for like 4 hours, but it worked out for them because the extra, like they should have been there for 2 hours, but since they messed up the order, added an extra hour. And then I ended up talking to them. So that like, because it was cool because it was Sunday shifts, always like a short shift, like a 4 hour. It was weird. We had to be open for the mall. It was an open mall concept, but you have to be open because the lease says you have to work on Sundays. So the owner was like, "What's the earliest we can close?" Like, well, you can be open from like 12 to 8. So you get a 4-hour brunch shift and a 4-hour dinner. It was kind of like, it's kind of easy. But I was working there with nobody and just hung out, and they tipped me very well. And then they left a good Yelp review at the end, and they didn't even talk bad about the bus, or they even forgot all about that. That kind of thing. What I'm watching about Salmon Slammin is when he sends back it's not swordfish is in the beginning or whatever
it's tuna.
Yeah. The girlfriend or the wife orders the tuna and they bring it back and the damn chef burns the hell out of it. That does happen. And then they make the soup scorching hot. That does happen. Like, that's asshole of the chef. Like that's the thing. And seeing people do stuff like that, even like right here where they give out the food and the chef's just trying to tell you what it is and they're scarfing it down. Like, I wasn't one of those guys, but the chef would still call me out and be like, "You're selfish." I'm like, "Well, I let everybody eat first and I eat my little piece last, but my little piece is gonna be a big piece because it's the last piece, so I'm gonna eat it. I don't care if people slobber on it. Like whatever. And this guy would like just kind of be like, the chef would just kind of explain what it is, but you say it once and walk away as he's saying it, and you're like, "What the hell is that?" So you make it up as you go, which I like in Slammin' Salmon, that they make up the fish.
It's the fishiest fish.
Is this fish fishy? Because I really like fishy. Oh, it's the fishiest of the fish.
It's a Moroccan mini trout.
Is it
fucking delicious? Yeah, that's
mini trout, right? I thought he called it.
We'll take two. We'll take two fucking orders.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Midget. Moroccan
it's a midget, right? He says Moroccan midget.
Part of that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Mini. That's mini.
No.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, for Mel Brooks, we will not say that it was midget. But I mean, even all the stuff from I guess let's see, Salmon Slammin'. I think like just all the characters that they play. They I guess I can see myself as Zongo. What's up?
Oh, so I was reading my notes for waiting, and I wrote down that whenever they have the biatches and bastards, it's like, we got our first official biatch of the day.
The sign.
It's like, like, I love that part.
Okay, so
but there were more biatches than there were bastards.
Oh yeah, dude. And by the way, that scene there, this is a blended episode. It's cool. That scene there, I can't believe I only seen it once. I've only seen it one time. Even watching it now, I already knew what was going to happen. I just couldn't. A little bit of extra gravy. Even that guy. I always say this about the guy that plays the character that does the guacamole. He goes like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. Dude, I remember him having a show. There he is, 2005. It was Con. It was on Comedy Central. He was in Hostels Part 3, so he probably has a death scene that we got to look into. But I remember him. He was Skylar Stone is his name, but he was in the he was the guy that does the garlic salt. Like I remember he
mixed Mexican and continental.
Good, like he was. I remember him being. I thought I was gonna give him a little shout out because I remember he had that show Con, and he was basically conning people on TV. Like David Tell had his show Up All Night. And then this guy had his show where he was conning, but he was conning people like in camera. Like he was just doing like random people were getting conned. It was a pretty cool little show. I'd give it a look see. But them going through that line, there was a guy there, the guy that does the gravy, the Hawks the Loogie. I thought he was Jeremy Renner.
Really?
Yeah, from back then because
dude, no, he looked
it kind of looks like Jeremy Renner. I don't know if you can find him. I don't know what his name is.
Let's see here. I'll have to.
He's just a cook, man.
I have Wikipedia right now.
It says here, bitchy lady is played by Melissa Morgan.
Oh, I hated her in this movie.
Oh,
Absolutely hated her.
I actually don't even care about those. The ones I hated was
Oh,
the people that talk up a lot and don't tip. Those are the ones I hate the most. you
yeah, yeah.
know, I had
That's
one
excuse me.
one of my regulars had asked me because I know that we saw like a bad tip situation go down, and they go, but it was like the customer was pretty bad, and like you said earlier, they're kind of like the kind of the antagonists of the shift because you have to deal with them. But one of my regulars asked me, do you ever like remember your bad customers that come in here? And I go, well, you always want to take care of your good tippers. You always do not. You always want to take care of them when they come in. You know who they are. But your bad ones, your bad people, you'll never forget them. Like
Yeah,
you'll never forget them. And it's like, you know, I get so you get so they some of them get even comfortable with you with like, hey, what's the deal? Every time I come in here, somebody comes and they give me looks, and nobody wants to wait on me. And my wife and I are just trying to have a lovely meal, and the wife's just there like, shut the hell up, Harry. And then they get so comfortable, and then they tell you like, all right, you CJ, you tell me what's the deal? Why is it? I'm like, well, dude, you're annoying. Why don't you just shut up, enjoy the music, enjoy the live music, enjoy the food. You're with your lovely wife. Why don't you just relax? And then he gives me like like scolds me like a look, and then the wife's just there like, thank you. And then he's like,
yep.
go get my beers, go get. And then before you know it, the food. I mean, the food changes everybody's mood. I had nothing to do with that. I just happened to saw the opportunity to talk shit to a client, and I had a regular. I was like, fine, I'm gonna do it. And but the food, and then at the end of the meal, he's like, I guess I should be a little bit more quiet. But then they never do. They come back and do the same
No.
shit. But he's more quiet.
Yep.
He's more quiet with me next time. So I did notice that. But I mean, everyone else, they're like, dude, that guy, how'd you get him on your good side? I was like, I don't know, talk shit to him. And then they come up to you like, they go up to the guy, F you. I'm like, no, not like that. Just like, some people like to play wit. Some people like to be smartasses. And when you can call them on their smartass, they don't. But you got to be ready to lose a tip. I never cared about. I mean, like, yes, I knew I loved my tip, and I would need my money, but I was like, I'm not willing to like let this person talk down to me and let them get satisfied. And speaking about Chet Miller, in my career, I have technically, without me knowing, I've only waited on my friends from high school twice. And both times were people that I was nice with, I had a cool relationship with, so it wasn't a big deal. It was more catching up. It's been like 8 years since we've seen each other, and we just kind of was like, you work here? Oh my god! And then like just one of my friends actually just got married, so I got to meet her husband, and she's like, oh, she knew some story. We didn't have a whole lot of stories together, but we had some stories from like student council and staying like senior year stuff like that. And she was like, yeah. He did this and that, and I was like, oh, remember she did that, and she was actually one of my friends that hooked me up with a job back in the day just because she did me a favor. And I was like, so I always was grateful for that. So when I hooked him with dessert and whatnot, and then my other friend came in, like off the street, just like, man, I'm working on a job site over here, and look who I've run into, and I'm like, what's up? I don't ever feel. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy waiting tables.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like it was a burden on me. The burden was when I was getting older, and I was like, God, I got to get the hell out of here. But I can't be here this long. Like I could already see my future, and I could see myself totally becoming a dick and totally being burnt out. And I'm already burnt out. Why do I want to be burnt out in a bad mood here? So I'm happy I did the leap of faith and just said fuck it. But it sucks, dude. It really sucks when you want to just love something, but times change, things change, and it's not the same anymore. Especially me getting
Dude,
older.
whenever you mentioned that, it reminded me. I delivered to one of my roommates one time. We came into college together and all that, and his parents bought a house for him so he could live off campus, and I was like living there in one of the bedrooms. It was the most expensive place I lived at in Stephenville, and he tipped me a penny. I remember that.
It was like $9.99
And
or
dude,
something.
yeah, it was just like, yeah, I was thinking it was like $19.99. Dude, that I forgot all about that. And like, I didn't hold it against him or anything like that, but it just like, whenever you mentioned, I just brought that up and just kind of just pissed me off just a little bit,
Dude,
you
when
know? Yeah. Sorry.
I got really bad at that, man. Because I don't know if it's good or bad, but I was like straight tippers by the end of my career at the restaurant that I was at. They'd be like, "Hey, where's this?" I go, "Nah, you tip like shit. You gotta wait." And they'd be like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
Yep.
I'm like, "Nah, dude, you see those 3 tables over there? They're taking care of me tonight. I gotta just deal with you." No, well, I wasn't aware of this. Like, come on, man. You order your steak. You wanted three. What's it called? Medium rare plus. That shit does not exist. Like, I mean, it exists, but you know how hard that is. Let's pretend these are fractions, and rare would be like what, a quarter, and then medium rare would be. I mean, sorry, rare would be like kind of like five, and Medium rare would be kind of like the 90-degree angle, and then medium would be in the middle, or 45-degree angle, then the 90, and then 3/4 and so on. But a medium rare plus would be like in between the wedges on this pie chart that I'm making up. Like that'd be so hard for the chef to kind of get, and you can't even tell by the time the steak gets to your table, it's already been cooked even longer. If you don't eat it and you wait, it's cooking it. Like, you know what I mean? Like people, it's I went away because you know what? I'm like, dude, I'm not even gonna deal with you. Then
act like they cook better than. Why are you coming to a restaurant?
But,
like in my
exactly.
Like I said, I'll get up on a soapbox sometimes. Like, dude, you think you can cook better than fucking stay at home and cook? It'll be cheaper for you, literally. Like, but I understand sometimes you go out for like the experience and stuff like that. You go out, and you don't want to clean up, you don't want to do all this other stuff, but you're gonna just sit there and bitch the entire time.
Dude,
what's the point?
Now we're opening some boxes in my head that I'm like, all right, because I'm trying to I was trying to talk about the movies, but we have so much, and we could bring so much into our life, into these movies. It's beautiful. There's one time there's this older gentleman. His name is what's the brand name? John Deere, like the tractor name.
Yeah,
it's John Deere, right? So his name was John Deere, but I don't know if he had any relations with that. But this older dude, he was like a Texan. Older white gentleman, real stubborn, kind of like Clint Eastwood looking dude, and he was very, very smart ass, but very Southern smart ass. So the joke doesn't really apply. It's just kind of like your work ethic kind of shit. But he would piss me off. Like he wouldn't piss me off. He would try to get under my skin. I wouldn't let him. But so I started calling him Dear John, and I was like, he would get pissed off. Like, Dear John, I'm not going to listen to you, because his wife was the one that was egging me on. His wife was the one that was like, don't let that old dog in. You're smart. So get him. So she goes to the restroom. She courted me. So this guy would come in all the time. So finally, after the third time, I was like, F this guy. He's a good tipper, but I'm gonna mess with him. And then I'd give him shit because he come in before. He'd come in right at the end of happy hour to get happy hour, but then he'd come in and then stay for dinner. But then order want his dinner, his happy hour, his dinner, and all this bullshit. I'd let it slide. But then he'd tip well. So after that shit, I'd be like, Dear John, always coming in and making your complex orders for no reason, just complicated. And I'd say that with all his friends around, and his wife would just be laughing, and they'd be like, why do you call him Dear John? Because every time he comes in here, he complains, and he's always trying to. Because he said this to me one time. He goes, watch out, he's a Mexican. This guy thinks he's a Mexican. He's a lazy worker. And that's what I said. Oh, really? We're that comfortable? So that's I started hitting him with the Dear John shit. Like, dude, Dear John, you just come and complain at a restaurant where Mexicans don't work because you think you're a harder worker. And I just tell like that. And he'd be like, oh, you got me, son. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. I'm actually not saying what I was saying back then because there was a lot of cuss words involved. But, we just you just shoot the shit with each other. And some people like that. And that's what I'm playing his game. He's not really talking down to me or anything. He's just messing with me. He's not being racist. He's not doing. He's just checking me, see how far he can stretch me. And I'm like, I go pretty far because at the end of the day, like, your tip is whatever you want to leave. And if I'm spending my time here like arguing or like bickering with you, I hope you would kind of whatever. But then he'd always leave me good. Or he's the guy that left me like 2 bills on Christmas. So all that fighting. For 2 years, one time he came in for like shit, dude. I think it was like creme brulee, coffee, and ended up having an extra piece of dessert with his wife, and he left me $200. Said, like, there you go. Like he came in to give that to me, and I was like, holy shit! Like those are always the weirdest tips, man. During holidays when you get like a random 200, because I wouldn't need it. Like it was weird. Like I need $200 today, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh well, I got my money. I don't got to work tonight. All right, bye. It was like, it was, but just that kind of bickering. I guess he just liked that I would. Because you can't really do that with some people. Honestly, you said earlier about the experience. Some people just like to kind of shoot the bullshit, and some people like to get into it. And restaurants were easy for them. Man, I don't like that guy. That guy was fun to just kind of like because I never had like a good exchange with him. It was always rough, but he was like he was like that with everybody. But with me, I would just talk back because I was like, whatever. But I mean, he gave me $200 after 2 years of fighting with me. So like I guess But I wasn't really. It gets to that where you have your I don't know, your regulars take care of you, take care of them. It's such an easy job, man. Just learn the easy things that you can control and make sure you're prepared and ready for the shift, so everything's there. So what if it makes a mess? Clean it at the end of the night. You have your money. I mean, sometimes I was like, he gave me like $35 an hour today because I only worked 6 hours, and I had all my tips in the front.
I love doing that, dude.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
I would love figuring out like how much did I make today, like, or what was my hourly rate?
Yeah, and
some days it'd be like $10 an hour, and some days it'd be like 25.
Dude, like you can rock it. Um, I mean, Salmon Slammin, like waiting is that feeling, like I said, of it feels like a documentary. Kind of feel like it is kind of like what Shift kind of goes like. Where Salmon Slammin is kind of the exaggerated version, but it's weird. I
Yeah.
feel I think I came up on a interview with Ryan Reynolds, and he said something about, I think he had waited tables, and he kind of he was natural into it. I think you're right. I think these Broken Lizard guys actually have waited tables. I also want to say, when did you watch this movie? Because I saw Waiting at the theaters. And when did,
Waiting. I think I watched it on Comedy Central for the first time. It was probably 2008. You know, like I said, I watched it edited.
oh
And
damn, I
didn't
don't.
really, yeah, didn't really see it. Well, I probably watched it edited in during the day, and then you know how Comedy Central used to be, where you
At
like
night.
after 12 o'clock, you could watch it unedited and stuff like that. So yeah, I probably watched it later. I was like, oh, this is a good one. And then like later on that night, I watched it without without any edits. And then Slammin' Salmon, dude, I probably caught that in 2000. Oh shit, maybe like 12 or 13. Like I definitely that was one that flew under my radar for sure because I didn't realize it was 2009. I would have
Yeah,
thought it was like, yeah, it was like I said, it flew under the radar pretty good. And I remember I watched it with some of my some of my old roommates, and dude, we were all working at Domino's at the time. So dude, we would quote the shit out of this movie, like nearly decapitated him. Like we would just sit there and laugh, man. Just like it was like we had inside jokes or something. Um, but yeah, Waiting, man. I saw Waiting before I started working at Domino's, so it kind of like I didn't have any experience, but I you could still relate
yeah.
with the staff and everything. Um, I had no problem there. Slammin' Salmon I had seen after I'd kind of been in the industry for a little bit, but um, like I said, Waiting, man, you can, like I said, I feel like you can just relate a lot more to all these guys. It's more of the story of, like you said, Dean getting out and figure out what the hell am I going to do with my life. I know I don't want to be here this whole time. I've been going to community college for 5 years. I have a couple classes under my belt. You know, it just kind of like it's this shit or get off the pot, kind of movie. And that's really what Waiting's about is like, oh, getting off the pot. But, you're still going back and you're still going and partying. I mean, the parties at your house.
Oh yeah.
That happened quite a bit at, my house too. Like I'd come home and there'd be they'd be playing beer pong and there'd be some random people there. And, you just, sometimes I would go and hang out and then sometimes I'd go to my room and smoke. And then that was another crazy thing, dude, is like sometimes I would, if if they had enough people over at the house and they were just like, oh man, what's that smell? They'd be like, oh, you can come in here, and like we'd have a little powwow in my room, and then they go back out and party, dude. And like some nights I wasn't feeling it, man. But it was so cool because it was always like right outside. Like if you're feeling like you want to party, cool. It's literally you walk outside your bedroom door and it's there. If you want to just chill in your room, close the door and do your thing.
That's one thing I noticed about so in college, the beginning of Waiting has that feel, like college feel to it. Like but I noticed that college feel while going through college. I didn't start waiting tables until I was 26. Once I started waiting tables, I started feeling that college feel again. I was like, well, we're back at it. They capture it perfect in the movie about like people partying like that.
Do you think Dean and Monty are the same age?
Yeah, they're 22. They went to high school together. Around 21,
Yeah.
20. Monty's probably 22
Okay.
as well. I'll say that the story is kind of about everybody. You kind of follow Dean a little bit more, but it is kind of about everybody's interaction. I did want to say something. What's up?
I wonder if Dean came and worked at Shenanigans because of Monty, because it feels like Monty's been there for years, and
I
then Dean had been kind of popping around, and he ended up at.
there's that conversation that him and Bishop have, and he's like, "How long you been working here? Year and a half,
Yeah.
2 years." Like he knows everything, like Bishop knew. And then I think you don't really get to know if he like who got him the job, but yeah, you could see that, like Monty, and also like Monty being that guy gets a bill like with doing nothing. That
Yeah.
kind of looks like that's kind of me. But I was also working. But there are guys like that. I know guys like cats like that. I'd be like, dude, I busted my ass tonight and I made 150. You didn't do shit and you walked out with 140. Like, you'll take the
Mhm.
$10 less. But I was like, damn, that's crazy because they just knew how to work the system very well. I mean, not the system. They knew how to work people very well. And I was like, oh, okay. Um, I did want to say I noticed something, and I don't know if this is like an error in the movie or what. I don't know what Justin Long is doing, but the scene where they come out of the car where it's Anna Faris and Caitlin Doubleday and then Justin Long all run into each other where they're walking into the shenanigans for their shift.
Yeah.
If you watch that, I wanted to actually show it to you. Why did you want to see it live? But if you watch that scene where they're walking in, right before they walk in, Justin Long pulls Caitlin Doubleday's hair like real hard. Like it's weird. Dude. It's like I don't know if that was meant to be in the movie or not, but it looks very aggressive. Like it's like what is he like? Are they that character? Like is he character that much, or is it Justin Long just messing with her? Or but if you
Interesting.
he like it looks like it doesn't I don't know I don't know if I'm throwing making stuff up or anything, but it looks like he just kind of grabs her like real hard, like he's I don't like playing around or something, but he does it too hard, like it's just like an accident. Where you go, I was like I don't know if you noticed that I'm waiting. I was like oh, that kind of it threw me off. I was looking at that because
I'll have to rewatch that. I had it playing while we were talking, but it's been off for like
yeah.
an hour now.
Oh, we've been talking for a minute, dude. This is gonna be a long one.
Yeah.
We're really
Oh
getting
yeah.
Slammin. I did like how they brought back Jim Gaffigan for his one little cameo. And
Yep.
they brought him
Like
back.
I said, there's a lot of
Repeat defender.
yeah, exactly, man. You had a lot of people from like Super Troopers and all the other
So
movies
I
that
saw
kind of made an appearance.
I did see Waiting. So I already had worked at Applebee's before Waiting. I mean, when Waiting came out, I saw Waiting at the theater. Salmon Slammin came out in 2009. I started waiting tables the next year, or I think around 2009, 2010. I started waiting, but I didn't see Salmon Slammin until maybe 2013,
Yeah.
maybe. And I saw it kind of like what I saw it. I remember it was still when they had the like what you're the preview you're gonna watch the movies. I remember my aunt had that, and I remember going through it, and I said, "Oh no!" Right before that, I remember being like at Walmart or something. I saw it for sale, Salmon. I was like, "What? This is the Broken Lizard guys? What?" And it says, and this is what I also want to ask you on the movie poster for Salmon. It says Salmon Slammin. I mean, it says at the very top, it says from the creators of Beer Fest and Super Troopers. I'm only thinking they put Beer Fest first because it's alphabetical order before S. But I would think you would put Super Troopers first and Beer Fest. But I think Beer Fest had more of a success than Super Troopers. But Super Troopers is what made Broken Lizard. So I'm
Yep.
kind of like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be my guess because Beerfest is like more that was coming out, 2001 for Super Troopers. That was like almost a cult classic kind of thing, and Beerfest was more universal. Um, Plus, you have not bigger names, but just more recognizable faces in
yeah.
Beerfest. You have Will Forte was in Beerfest too, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he plays one of the like the
One of the
German.
Germans,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And then you had that kid from kid. You had that guy from Dumb and Dumber. He
yeah.
played Lloyd,
He's
you
also in
know,
it.
and so you have more. Like I said, they're more recognizable, and especially if you've seen, Club Dread or Super Troopers and stuff like that, then you're just like, oh, okay, I know these guys. And then you have that piled on with all these other kind of bigger actors. Oh, Cloris Leachman. You have fucking Cloris
Yeah.
Leachman in it. You have
That's another repeat offender.
yeah. And then fucking Donald Sutherland. Like these are big names.
Oh yeah,
They may not
he plays the grandpa.
say goodbye, Bobo. Bye,
Yeah,
Bobo.
yeah.
And he pulls the
He's
fucking
drinking that
plugs.
beer. Yeah, he kills himself and he drinks that beer.
Hmm.
Yeah, he pulls the plugs. He just falls. Damn, there's
And
something.
I feel like it's more of like I said, Super Troopers is kind of like it's more grounded. Beerfest is just kind of like out there, man. Like it's more of an escape from reality more so than Super Troopers is, and I feel like this one kind of is too. But it's like it's almost a mix between Beerfest of going to that extreme and Super Troopers, where it's like, okay, this could be a real night for a wait staff.
One thing I did. So I did see that movie at the bin. I saw it on TV. I saw. I did. I didn't really get it until I want to say because I already started waiting tables and I didn't really understand too much of the movie. But I will say that when I did see Salmon like the third time, like I actually saw it through, I'd laugh my ass off the whole
Mhm.
time. Not like this last time. I really laughed my ass off. I really got because I've been. It's like now it's like you've already done the service stuff. Look at the shit they go through. Even the blue carousel, like that's a stupid one.
He's cleaning the dish. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, you get loopy at work. One thing about drinking, I have noticed there's something about the stress that that a restaurant brings that makes people drink a little bit more. I've seen this happen where people that were non-drinkers that would I start working at a restaurant after like year two, about two and a half, they would start drinking. Like after a shift or during a shift, whatever, they'd just pick up a drink and you'd be like, "What? Like, oh, I gotta relax." It's a weird thing. Like you have a bad night, you go out and get shit faced, and you wake up and you're kind of just forgot about it. So it's kind of a way you kind of get rid of things off you, man. It's like stress. It's like a weird stress because se pega, like it sticks on you and you gotta like shake it off.
Smoking cigarettes too.
Yeah, too. But also, and then why is it? It's meat drapes. Why does it? Why does it say like that when I say it? Meat drapes.
Meat drapes. I think you're pronouncing it wrong. Like you just fucking.
Working at Vince's and seeing like hanging out with them, it wasn't like that like with them, but there's areas. I did like how I'm throw a shout out my professional ex NFL player and the Longhorn champ, Bo Scaife, man. I would tell that guy what's up, and he'd get out of his way, shake my hand, give me some love every time because I don't know, I was the only guy that recognized him, but maybe I knew people knew him. He was a big guy, tight end. And I'd be like, "Yo, Bo Scaife." And he'd be like, "What's up, man? What's up?" I was like, "Oh shit, he's shaking my hand. I'm saying hi to Bo Scaife. My hand's so tiny compared to him, and I got big hands." It was like, that was kind of cool. Like, see, and then the Vivica Fox coming out. What's her name? Nutella. That happens, man. With people that they. Well, I will say that when we're talking about celebrities, I've waited on a few celebrities, and I thought one of the coolest experiences I had was Willie Nelson. That was cool, but I didn't really. I think his aura was real cool. I didn't really get to talk. I talked to his wife more than I talked to him because we had more in common. But but he was cool listening. I mean, okay, so Willie Nelson, freaking, he only paid in cash, only had like hundreds. He paid for the meal and then tipped me like 200. Like the meal was only like $48. I mean, $200 on his way out. Jay and the guys, there was a local band. These guys are basically just, I don't want to talk shit about them. They're still band guys, but they play what they want to play, and they're musicians. I'm not gonna take that away from them. They're good musicians, but you can't ever they play whatever they want. So it's like you go to a restaurant and it's just like, oh, this doesn't go with the mood, but they play what they know. And they're older gentlemen, so I'm not gonna talk shit about them. But there's three guys in this band, and one of the guys was really cool. His name was Dan. He wears a cut off jean jacket, and he plays the bongos. And he's real cool. Like these guys are kind of cool. But Willie Nelson's walking out, and he sees them. He's like, the band guys. He like just puts a stack of cash in the tip jar and walks out. Which I ended up taking a class like in 2015, a business class, and it was like small business meeting, and the professor, it was one of my favorite professors of all time, Donnie Hewlitz, and he said he worked with Willie Nelson a lot, and he goes, "I'm gonna tell you about old Willie. He does not care about money. He doesn't care about dollar. He don't care. He goes, he'll give it to everybody. They literally have to like make sure people take money away from him there, so he has his finances." And in that room, it just so happened, they goes, "Anybody waited on him?" Like I brought it up, the story I just told you, and then like four other people waited their hands. They're like, "Dude, we waited on him too, and he left us like $200, $300. Just fucking give me a stack of money." And I was like, dude, that's so cool that he does that. Drew Brees came into the year before. Drew Brees got in trouble for apparently not leaving a fat tip at a restaurant, but it was because he was a to-go order. He came into the restaurant, he took a to-go order, but he was doing something. It was like holidays, or not, it was holidays. It was some kind of event was going on, and he was kind of coming in, and he was watching. No, it had to have been football. It was the kind of holidays. I think it was right before Christmas or something, because there was a football game on, or I can't remember, because he was watching the game and going outside and doing something, and then like we were messing with him, like because he's from Austin, so we're messing with Drew Brees. And the first thing I noticed, I was like, oh, dude, this dude's my height, and he's a professional athlete. Like that's kind of cool. But like everyone would give him shit, like, "Hey, where's your Super Bowl ring at, man? Where's your Super?" He's like, "I can't wear that. Shit's big." Like we're like, "Where's your ring at? Why'd you flaunt it?" Like we're just giving him shit, and I thought he was cool about that. Like Drew Brees was a cool, like he took we're a bunch of just waiters giving him shit. He was cool with it, and we're like, "Who do you want to win, Drew? Who do you?" It was, I forgot what team was. We could watch the score. He was just kind of trying to stay busy, but I thought that was funny when we waited on him. We did that and we're just giving him shit. I waited on Andy, Andy Roddick and Brooklyn Decker, and they're married. Dude, Brooklyn Decker is a sweetheart. She's like not only beautiful, she's awesome, she's nice, she's caring. She actually dropped her phone in the booth, and it fell like in a little crack. And I only because the waiters knew it was there. She didn't know. So she like I ended up pulling the table, and she's like, I get the light to see. I use my cell phone to light up the table, and she's like, no, I dropped it. I lost it. That's my phone. I'm gonna go get it. I was like, what? Like, I'm dressed for this. She's like, no. So she goes under the table with my phone, trying to get her phone. She's like, I thought I dropped my phone in here. I go, I probably found the crack. She's like, I don't see it. But there's like this gorgeous supermodel, like just going on with like she's doing. Like, I thought that was cool because she wasn't like catering to me. She was like, I do it myself. I lost it. So, but she found her phone. But I will say, I was waiting on Andy Roddick, and man, like he's been famous since he was like 13 or something. The tennis player.
Yeah.
And dude, he's very forward, and I guess he can come off as a dick, I guess. But I'm like, this guy's had a camera in his face since he was 13. He's probably 40 now or something, you know. I was like, dude, he's got to put up with a lot of shit. But he was honest. That's what I liked about him. He was just saying, he's like, I don't care, man. Like, I was talking to me like and talking direct, and I thought that was funny. So we kind of started banting. And by the way, he's a big guy. He freaking ate like 3 entrees, like expensive. They're like $30 entrees. Just ate them all on his own. I was like, God dang. But he ate a lot. But the thing about him was, he goes, you kind of feel very, you know who I am? I go, yeah, I know who you are, Roger Federer. And he's like got pissed off at me. And I go, nah, I know you're Andy Roddick. I'm just messing with you. He goes, oh, I can't believe you called me that. He goes, at least you didn't call me. And then who was the other guy? There was the guy that
Pete
was
Sampras.
No, the guy that was kicking ass. Was it Roger Federer? No, he was the younger guy at the time, like the mid 2000s with.
He's bald.
No, he's got the long hair, the young stud guy. I think it was Roger. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, it would have been Roger Federer. He was after Andy Roddick.
Yeah, I think it is Roger Federer. There was I called him. No, I called him Roger Federer. It was the other guy, the other tennis guy. Oh, no, I got to figure out his name. I don't even know how to look up. God, how do I even Google tennis guys? I think, whatever man, I can't remember.
Oh, that was wrong. You talk. So there's a
Nadal,
bald dude.
Nadal, Rafael Nadal. That's that. I didn't say that guy. I said Roger Federer. But yeah, I said that. He was like, "What'd you call me?" I was like, "No, just joking." Eddie Roddick. He's like, when I waited on an individual. It kind of sounds like this. He yells a lot, and I waited on him like 3 times.
For some reason, I want to say Vincent D'Onofrio off of Men in Black.
No, that's not it. No, sugar, more sugar. That's more. The voice is more like this. This guy's voice is like this. He talks. He yells every time he talks. I don't know why. I waited on him 3 times, but I always pretended that I didn't know who he was, and it bothered him. Oh, come on. You know who I am. There's space aliens everywhere going to get me. You know who I'm talking about. Alex Jones.
Oh, shit. If you said gay frogs, I would have got it.
Oh, God. See, I don't know much about him. And that was the thing. He was one that when I waited on him, he was like, "What's your name there, young man?" I was like, "CJ." He goes, "Oh, yeah, I know everybody here, so I need to know you, too." I was like, "Dude, I've waited on you like 3 times already." But the thing with him, man, he's in and out. Like, you know, the girl that I did like that tipped me very well. And I hope nobody ever talks bad about her. She tipped me 3 times, not at the same time, but like 3 separate occasions. And was it the Teen and Pregnant? Like one of the MTV girls. I think her name was like
16
and Pregnant, I think.
Yeah.
One of those girls. I think her name was Deborah. I think she was the one that made the naughty video.
It's like Tamara or something.
Whatever her name was. Whatever she was. I waited on her 3 times with her kid from the show. And but there were always like at different awkward hours when she came, where nobody was in there. Nobody would be there, and she'd order like a salad, and her kid would order to go, and then they'd hang out for like 30 minutes or whatever. But she would tip me like her meals were like $16, $18, like a salad and a little kid's entree, and she would just be like, "Is this enough?" And like give me like 4 20s, 5 10s, like 3. I was like, "Yeah, are you sure?" She's like, "Don't worry about it." So I was like, "Damn!" Like she tipped me like that. Like one time she just gave me 100 and said, "Okay, bye," and I was like,
16 and pregnant. That's what it was.
That's what it is. Is that what it is? Yeah, that girl is a good tipper, man. If you ever get to wait on her, I would say, dude, just hang out with her, take care of her. She tips really well. Like, dude,
She's making money now. She's got that video out.
probably, man. She probably made some money. She was rolling cash. She would just leave me all. Like, it's just very. It is kind of like when Chet Miller leaves that $100 tip like that. It is very scratching. His tab was like $37, and he left. You get like a 70. I got like an $80-something tip, and I'm like, what the heck is that about? But Slammin, the Will Forte character, dude, he just wanted to be left alone, and he left $1,000, and apparently they put tips with sales. I didn't know that. You can do that, but he, like, even his character, just like some people just want to be left alone and go to a restaurant, but man, some people get pissed off with that. Like, you're losing a table in your section, or you're not. It depends how the night goes, because I didn't have any of those Will Forte nights where somebody was reading War and Peace. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
What did you say? No.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You doing that? All right, man. Just so I hit all my Slammin' Salmon notes. Customer started fish in their mouth.
I mean, you're right.
He had 5 Smirnoff ices. And he banged
a Bangladesh. A Bangladesh. That's a stupid guy like this. See, he's just a sleazeball, but he's not like a. It isn't until he does his little tricks where you really hate him, but he's just a sleazeball, man.
Dude. And then I have the Japanese albino hunting. I nearly decapitated him. Made a bet with the Yakuza, and then whatever Nuts brings his drink in, he's like, "Ooh, crazy straw." Just goofy shit like that. Has to make 20 grand in one night. The send back shit, that was hilarious, man. Like, as soon as they would send something back, they would just devour it. We'd have that sometimes at Domino's too, like, especially if it was something good, man. Like, we just like, it left the store. I mean, he can't not gonna leave again. So, bring it back. Cool.
I mean, dude, when we have at the steakhouse, dude, like, these are like $125 steaks or whatever, $175 steaks, and somebody would send it back, man. Like I just said, medium rare plus. This is way over. It's way over, and they're just like, all right, and I'm new to the place, so everyone's already burnt out on steak. I'm like, okay, and they're like, do you want to eat it? Like, and you're just like eating steak and you realize, like, you got this big old gut because you've been eating steak, so you stop eating red meat. But it's so damn hard, man. I like eating steak, but I eat a lot of it. I love eating vegetables, but God, dude, when you get a Wagyu steak that's just perfectly cooked and it's like butter melting in your mouth and the grill, like, oh, it's awesome.
What's up? Oh, nothing. I was just going to say, Nuts Zongo. He said whenever he first meets Donnie, he was talking about something. He was like, he was talking about his Zongo experience. Like, I just blacked out. And he tells Donnie, he's like, no, I'm just joking. But it is true. Like, just
because because Donnie's like the new guy in this one. Even when Zongo. Okay, so now I think we have a common thing for side by side. Man's ass. Jay Sendrasekar. Sorry, I messed up his name.
You said it right.
I said it right first time. Jay Sendrasekar. He, what do you call it? He shows his ass twice in this. That's another consecutive thing. We got a bunch of ass showing. We like to see men's ass, I guess, apparently. But it's like, and
then full frontal nudity in the other one. Let's see.
His character is Zongo. Like, that's like these guys got to create their own characters. It's funny how they got these guys to do the stuff.
Dude, so one thing that I noticed this time around was, and I was hoping there was going to be like they were going to call back to it a third time, but Nuts was talking to Guy in the bathroom. He was like, "Yes, I fucked an orangutan last night." He's just like, "Guy, I'm pulling your leg." Like, he just says it like that. And then later on,
dry humor.
Yeah, and then later on, Donnie and Connor are talking, and Connor says, I never noticed this before. He's like, do you ever notice how redheaded people always breathe through their mouth?
Donnie's red.
And Donnie says, "Oh, like orangutans?" Exactly. Like,
so just an orangutan reference.
Yeah. Dude, whenever that girl burns her face, and then she goes and waits on the champ, and he sees her. He's like, ah, ah, and he does that. Sorry, I didn't mean. He's like,
I just
what
normally
the
don't
hell
do
happened to you? Oh, I spilled this soup. It's like, don't you know you're supposed to blow on it first? And
He's so real about that.
yeah, dude. And then he's like, I'm so sorry. My voice is not that high. Her soup face scared the shit out of me. And dude, like that was another one that we would always fucking say. We go, ah!
If
And
if wishes and nuts, what did he say? If wishes
no,
and nuts.
ifs and buts were candy and nuts. We'd all have a Merry Christmas. She said,
Translate.
no, that's not what I said. And then what does he say at the end? He's like, how do you say motherfucker in Spanish?
Yeah,
Like,
that's like you're a translator. He's like, oh, I didn't realize how much like, because so I'm waiting. Like I said earlier, there's not really like an arc for each character. It's just kind of Dean's character, and you get introduced to the other ones. Now this one, it's Leon Salmon is the main kind of protagonist, and he's the main like he sticks out the most as a character, because the other, I feel like everybody here falls like kind of even. I'll say like you don't nothing like I want to know more about this movie. Maybe do a little bit of research real quick, but I want to know like because to me it feels like it was another independent movie. I don't understand how this one came about. Like you see that they did the Super Troopers. They are Beer Fest. They even did Club Dread by this point.
yeah.
And I'm like, how did they do? How did this movie come about? How did this one come to fruition? Was it like was this just something that they put together real quick, or was it just something that I mean, I feel like it went straight to DVD. I don't even know if it had a. Well, we'll find out in a little bit. But this movie alone is it's
I think it
good.
did. It had to have had a theatrical, just a minimal theatrical run. Um, this was also directed by Kevin Heffernan.
Yeah, that's what I noticed that he took the lead on
Yeah,
this
he
one.
took the reins on this one. So possibly he was the one who was a waiter or was in the wait staff or anything. Dude, so whenever Donnie's crying because he's about to get his ass whooped by the chance, he has blue tears running down his face. It's just hilarious.
So
Oh, dude, and that whole ring thing too. Like they still put the ring back in the food after. He's like, "Do you know that some dumbass ate my ring?" He's like, "Yep, I'm trying to pass it." It's like, "It was you." Like, dude, that shit.
I did find out that I think I know for sure. What's his name?
Oh, it was a limited release, December 11th.
I do know that Kevin, Jay, and what's his name, Steve. They do stand up because I saw some stand up earlier on them. So I know they all kind of try to steal like
It's like Big Man or Fat Man and Little.
Oh yeah,
Little
yeah.
Boy. Whatever those bombs were, that's their name. That Enola Gay dropped on, or yeah.
Yeah. What they actually it was they wrote it, but it's Kevin was the one, Heffernan was the one that directed it. I think he did a good job, for the most part. This movie, I feel it does have like I think also I'm not mistaken. Like I think this was the time when movies were going more digital, and the TVs hadn't really caught up yet. Where I think they switched over from film, and I think this is one of those movies because this doesn't really have like a film vibe to it. Oh yeah, he punches guy by accident in the gut. He didn't mean to, and it like just shows you how powerful he is. You know this guy's guy, and he tries to make a flow, like he tries to rap.
Wicka.
Let's see.
Love it, dude. Then love whenever he introduced his sister to Rich, and that's who you find out later in the movie. Like that's who his wife is Cleon Salmon's sister. And then he sees all the babies. They all look the same. Like he has a problem with twins and triplets and everything. He's like, "What'd you do? Fuck a Xerox machine?"
But that I like that she's not like his, even your sister, like your family members, not scared of you. Like
yeah,
and then and even Rich is like, "Oh, watch out, champ," because he doesn't want to hit the kids. But that shows the family thing about that they're like she's still talking. She messes around with him. That's the only person that he listens to. That's the only person that Leon actually gives a shit about, really. And the kids. But I I did even the speech he gives about Rich to his sister.
twat.
I thought they would be closer. Like I thought they would show more of a scene to that. Like Rich and his sister getting together, but they just threw it in there. Like, no, this is what it is. He's a
I
man.
imagine whenever he broke his leg, she was like, "Oh, what happened?" You know, like she was probably, you
Oh
know,
man, dude. And then the
working
whole
there or something like that. You know.
yeah, you're probably right. I wish somebody would put it something like they had this a little relationship, but they didn't show. But it's okay. I mean, it works for the movies. Oh, I'm gonna stuff you so good. um, so let's talk about the nose, the CSI nose.
Yes, dude.
Dude, Morgan Fairchild.
Yep.
Like, dude, 1950. She was born in 1950.
Damn. So she's like 70.
Yeah, and then
Wow.
this so
Literally 70 this year. And this
yeah,
was 10 years ago, so she was 60.
60. Yeah, dude, doing. I mean, just
You definitely tell the down here in the chestal region.
oh, she's
Done
gorgeous.
up, dude.
She's gorgeous. Yeah, I don't care how Barbie looks. It's like a real life Barbie. But I will say one thing I did like was that Lance Hendrickson is in this movie,
Yes, dude. I saw him and I was like, who is that man?
and he doesn't die, and he's also not playing a sci-fi or a gory. He's actually playing a producer, like a douchebag producer. And guy does he
And
pulls it
he's
off.
kind of he's a dick, but he's not really a dick
It's kind
at
of
the
cool.
same time. Like, yeah, he's like, props, dog. Like, and he does that shit, and I'm like, "Ugh, you're a little too old to be doing that, man. But whatever.
Well, he
Like,
pulls. I think. I mean, he's got money. I think he
he
pulls it
does.
off.
No, he pulls it off,
You're
dude.
right, though.
And
You're right, though.
I keep on forgetting that this movie's set in Miami too, because
Yeah.
like you just get so much of Connor, talking about, oh, I was it's a big shot movie, and you just keep on thinking it's in L.A. Like you're just like, oh, okay, this makes sense. They say it numerous times, like Miami, 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 and I think they do that to like make sure you
You know you're there.
remember, like you're in Miami.
The Miami
And
offensive lineman is in here. Yeah.
yeah, dude, and even that scene, dude, way over exaggerated. Like they just knock over the entire restaurant one fell swoop, and I was just like, damn, over. I mean, don't get me wrong, that would be pretty gross, but I mean, you wouldn't just like.
They tried to show like a stampede, and then they that guy with the Honda from Street Fighter he's the what's his name?
Dude, I think he was in basketball too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in baseball. Yeah, so we have a repeat offender here. Is it no? This is another guy. I can't even remember his name. He's kind of been on a lot of things. Oh man, I hate that. This is a Miami Dolphin #1. I have to even go to Street Fighter just to go look for him real quick because it seems like that's where he is as he plays E Honda. I want to give him a shout out because I hate when I do this. And I don't give a shout out. So let's see. I gotta go by the name.
I'm gonna go to basketball and see if I can find him there.
Let's see if we can get him in there. E Honda. Okay, good luck. Find him, please. I don't see his name on the Salmon, but it says here Pete Navi Tu Ia So Sopu.
I'm gonna let you have that one. I don't know if he butchered it or not.
I don't know. Tua Sosopu. Tua Sosopu. Peter Navi Sosopu. I think it's not Navy. I think it's Navi. Yeah, he was in basketball. He's a repeat offender. Wow, now our worlds are colliding pretty easy.
Not even meaning to.
I
Joey
like
Diaz was in basketball. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I like the guy, the Ledouche. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not really too upset with what's his name, Dick LeBeau, because freaking Connor did it to himself. And then
Yeah.
I thought that was funny that he talks about getting the nose job, and he always talks about, oh, it was nothing, and then you actually see him with the nose and it's really big. Like, he did do something. Let's see. Steve Lamaducci is played by Avi Rothman.
There he is, Ed Tuttle. Peter Navy. Yep, I'll be damned. His credits are Street Fighter, like you said, and E Honda.
That's why I had to find it.
Basketball and Fast and Furious. Let's see here. That's crazy, dude. I think that's so funny that you can, like, I'm fairly good with. Oh, Speed Racer, man. Have you ever seen that movie?
I need to rewatch it. I don't remember it. I know that some
By
of
the
the scenes.
Wazowski sisters?
Oh, yes. Not the Wachowski brothers that made Matrix. The Wachowski sisters that made Speed Racer.
That made Matrix.
Nice.
They were the brothers whenever.
Is that who that
Speed
was?
Racer. Yeah.
Wait, so these are not 4 people. This is 2 people.
This is 2 people. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. I think Kyle, one of my buddies, film buddies, explained this to me, and I kind of didn't get it, but now I understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's the Wachowski. Is kind of like what we were talking about with Elliot Page the other day.
Oh yeah.
Like that was so crazy that they literally took everything off IMDb. They took the entire catalog off and then put it back edited. I thought that was just so interesting.
That's why I don't trust books after 2010. Anybody online can manipulate anything. Anybody can write any book they want. This is just CJ's conspiracy theories, propaganda shit that goes in my head once in a while. Not to be serious, just, And by the way, everybody, please, if you haven't caught on that, I'm very playful. Please don't take anything I say serious. I should have said it in the beginning. I should say it at the end, remind people. But anything I say, do not take me serious. If you do, then there's something wrong with you because there's something wrong with me, or something right. I don't know.
You know what? That needs to be your sign off. Is there something wrong with you? There's something wrong with me. I'm CJ.
I know, right? Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, dude, speed racers, man. That's a guilty pleasure.
I think you were trying to say right here that I'm pretty good at faces. With movies, I didn't realize that's a profile thing, or like just remembering. I'm gonna say that's not a natural ability. I have pretty decent memory, but that's not a natural ability. My mother gave me that superpower. I've been the same height since like 6th grade, and whenever my mom had these business meetings, she'd put a suit on me and make me go and go do these mixers. Well, not mixers, just like get-togethers, whatever. Just like little things. And she'd be like, remember this person, remember that person. And so she'd always get mad if I didn't say hi to somebody because she wanted me to know. So the thing is, I'd always go and say hi to everybody, but then she'd be like, no, I didn't see you. And I'd be like, well, that's Mr. Gutierrez. I said hi to him, and that's Mr. Sanchez, and that's Mr. And I'd be like, see, I already said hi to everybody. Well, basically, I'd remembered everybody, met them once, and just remembered them. So when she caught on to me, and she's like, well, then you're going to learn everybody. And I was like, oh, so she'd train me to learn faces. And I don't know, I was kind of young. So, but I think that actually helped me out as I got older. Like I was like, even with movies, and being in LA, I did actually run into a few people that was like, hey, I remember you in this movie. They're like, do you remember me in that movie? Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't know your name. I'm sorry. I just remember you, like the lines, like, oh, at least you remember I was in this movie. I was like, yeah. I have it twice where I heard somebody was like got excited. Like, it was a honest, genuine, really? Like I felt like, oh, I shouldn't have. I was just kind of drinking at a bar. And I was like, hey, you're that guy for that movie. Kind of like when I was drinking in LA and I ran into the brown guy from No Doubt, who looks exactly the same from the 90s. Like, we both looked at each other like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? The only other token people in here, cool. And I was like, yeah, but you're rich and famous. I look like I busted tables here. But he was cool. I got to say hi to him. I thought, I was like, hey, that guy's cool. But I'm all ranting off. Like I said, if you believe me, if you're following me 100% of what I say, go get checked. Not playing. Don't take me serious. I was gonna say, but that like memorizing people's faces and it's just something I've just seen enough movies. I don't know, just kind of same thing, But I like hunting them down. I like seeing who was in what. I like learning. I have noticed that side by side is more. It is more of appreciation. You can learn a little bit from us, but I think it's more of a go watch the movies and come back and listen to us and see if you can relate or see if we can anything. If not, hey, we can talk about a movie. I still love that we did History of the World Part 1. Like. I found that there's some YouTube videos of younger people watching that movie, reaction videos, and I'm like, what? They're like, really? I hope you're not exaggerating. Yeah, I'm getting, dude, I found, because I was looking for waiting stuff online. I want to bring a little bit more, even though this episode, I basically just try not to butcher names, but I was trying to bring more online, and I found that they had a show where they talk about awkward comments on, or when it's like the commentary, DVD commentary gets too real. It's this like YouTube page called Cracked, and they even have one with Trey Parker. And man, it's crazy because they talk about the reason why he made Cannonball the musical. Mm-hmm. Do you know why he made that movie?
No,
dude, he made that movie because of an ex-girlfriend. She left him, dude. I don't have the quote, but I heard it. She goes, she left him for a dude that manages a Foley's or something like that. and she was managing like some other shop, and then he went this other store. Then she went to manage Foley's, and he was like, "You really left me for the Foley's guy? I'm worth $7 million, and you left me for the like." That's what he's saying in the DVD commentary. He's just talking out of his ass. But somebody went and found that. But at the same time, I was like, "Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it is all right for him to." I mean, sorry, I was gonna say what I was trying to say is that he used a woman to help him kind of motivate him to get somewhere. And it's like, well, Mark Zuckerberg, when he stole Facebook, allegedly, whatever. The movie I saw kind of shows a guy stealing. Allegedly, Joanna. No, what happens is when you see a movie and it's supposedly based on the truth. I'm just saying what I saw. But even like that, I just started trying to get in trouble by watching what you're saying. No, I kind of just wanted to move on from this. I forgot what I was saying because
no, you good.
Because of the Zongo parts on it, it always cracks me up because I'm brown, he's brown, and when he goes, hey, lip dick motherfuckers, you think you can sell? These guys bought tequila, like talking shit to the clients, and they go for it. Like that kind of happens, dude.
He found 5 towels, and then he gives them all high fives.
And it's like,
all right, man.
Zongo should be 2 people. Zongo should count as 2 people. He goes and throws a. Are you ready to rate?
Let's rate them, man. I'm starting to drag now.
You're waking me up, man. Like I think this is more of a. If anything, you get anything from me in this episode. Anyone listening is, there's experience everywhere, and this person wrote waiting. Robert McKittrick wrote. I hate saying it like that, but that's how I can say it. He wrote waiting, and it's from his work experience. So let's get to the rating. So on IMDb, out of 89,313 votes, he got 6.8 out of 10, which I think is pretty good. But let's see what what you got for Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomato is going to be 30% from the critics, but it's 75% audience score.
And that is real easy because I wouldn't doubt that the critics never had to wait tables before.
Yeah.
And
probably not.
Damn.
That was off of 92. Now, the audience score has 233,411, and it still has a 75%, which is still pretty damn good.
Consensus. I can't even say that word.
Consensus.
Consensus. That's like Tylenol. I can't say Tylenol.
You just did. Good job.
No, that Tylenol. That's not how you say Tylenol, is it? Tylenol.
Tylenol.
I can't. My tongue don't get out. Yeah, but even like the critics consensus. I can't say that word.
Consensus.
Okay,
it's like census, but with
concession. No,
like the census that we did this year.
Census. Dude, I'm Mexican. We don't do that. We'll fill that out.
Consensus.
Consensus. Okay, check it
there
out.
You go.
Consensus. So waiting ... is gross out. Is a gross out comedy that is more gross than comic. What?
No.
Because
they're just mad that they get their shit fucked with. That's all that is. They don't want to. They actually think that people do that. That's their.
Oh, that's why. Huh? Every restaurant you go to, they're gonna. Okay, now let's just clarify. That's a game that they play in waiting. Now there are games like that you're gonna play if you go eat at a corporate restaurant like that. You might deal with people like that. But when you're going to eat at a fine dining place where you're spending good money, I doubt you're gonna get that shit. I doubt you get anything, dude. Like, it pisses me off when I would see people grab food to go and use their hand. I'll snap at them and be like, dude, you gotta throw that away. You can't touch it with your damn hand. You gotta, like I'm not thorough all the time, but I don't do gross shit like that. That's kind of the extent that most restaurants will go. Like, you grab your to-go food with their hand. But I mean, that even like that, a lot of places don't even allow that shit. So let's see. Let's get the
Slam. Are you gonna do IMDb?
Yeah, I'll do IMDb. I just like doing IMDb because it's the internet movie database. So let's see. And by the way, thank you for existing because it makes my head.
Dude, I'm telling you.
6.4. What's up?
I was just gonna say I have that app and I'm using it like daily. I just like going through it. But anyway, continue.
6.4 out of 10 with 13,324 votes, I guess, rates.
Okay.
And the movie got, okay, what the heck? This one got a 35% tomato meter and a 47 audience score. And only 9,000 people.
Yeah. So that's like a fraction of the people that have seen Waiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here. Critics conscientious critics consensus is potty humor and juvenile antics keep this workplace comedy from being particularly funny or memorable. That's bullshit.
Once again, you probably never worked a service industry job. Probably never worked a
But
job.
just because he had his shit out of diamond, you don't think that's funny?
I did like what you had to say about Jerry Duty. Now, you didn't watch that movie one time and you didn't laugh once. Like,
Right?
right. And then you're right. Like, dude, this is like a straightforward movie. There's no really a lot of layers to it. There's not super deep. It's just a comedy. This is what a comedy is supposed to be. I want to say between all the other movies, like there are other movies or other kind of comedies, but this is a comedy as well. This is probably like the little brother of the movies, probably the fourth child that they made, you know? Um,
Here's the thing: if you can't laugh at Michael Clark Duncan's shit, then there's something really wrong with you. I mean, useless with a capital Y. I mean, get the fuck out of here. And that's the funniest shit I've ever heard. You know? Are you say it like? And he does it with such a goddamn straight face. Like he is just like he's perfection in this movie. And if you are so blinded by all that other dumb shit that you can't see that, then I'm sorry.
This movie doesn't even have to be relatable. You don't have to even be working at a
No.
restaurant. You have if you've eaten at a restaurant and you see the wacky antics that goes on, but not through you. Let's say
I want everybody skipping right now.
Hey, everybody in the back. No, not the client, not the customers. Y'all stay here. It's like they're all terrified. Even him. It's not about me. It's not about me. He's showing up on a fucking horror. It's like it's not about me.
Get a carrot for the SS Fudgelicious.
Cops are here. Ooh, I better finish. Is it the same horse from Clerks 2? Repeat offender? No. I was thinking of when I was rating these, and I thought about that about when I'm watching Waiting. Like it resonates way more with somebody that was in the service industry. Now this hits all cylinders for me. A guy worked at a restaurants for a couple of years. While he was doing that, he wrote the screenplay to a movie, made it one hit. Let's say it's a one hit wonder. I don't want to limit him to that, but let's say he did that. Well, I'm happy for that because I was a guy that worked at a restaurant that would write, and I'm working on my features. It's cool to relate for that. But from that being said, and me relating this to people, you can only relate this to like blue collar people, man, and or any white collar person who wants to vicariously live through a waiter or something. My rating for Waiting, man, I want to. I want to be honest. It's not in the 11, 12, or 13. Man, I liked it when I saw it, but I didn't. I liked it more after as I got older. I don't want to give it an 8. I want to say 8, but I think I'm gonna go like a 9. Like a 9. Like I'm good. I'm good with Waiting being a 9. It's pretty. I mean, I've done it for so long. It's pretty accurate with the way it's told. The story is fun. It might be a 10. Now I'm thinking about it. We didn't talk about Naomi's Harry. You know, yeah. There's the Dean part. Actually, I like Mitch's at the end. Go to the fucking army. Why aren't you in jail? And you biggest piece of shit. And he gets. So it does have good.
Oh my fucking god!
It does have that. So, I give it a 9. I gotta hear what you say because I got a 9 for Waiting. I wanted to give it an 8, but I think there's enough there for me to really relate to give it a 9. And the reason is like this is not raunchy, but it has raunch in it. I don't know. Is this a raunchy movie? I don't want to say it's not, even it is, because I wouldn't recommend this to like every.
You see frontal nudity in every sense of the word. Yeah, it's raunchy.
Yeah, it's raunchy. Of course. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's raunchy. I don't want to like skip it. You're right, and you get to see the hairy thing. Yeah, it's raunchy.
Yeah.
So I like what I'm saying that I'd recommend it to my raunchy friends.
12.
Give it a 12. Oh
wow. Reason being, man, like I said, we like to give our movies ratings that how we would recommend this to people. And this is a must see. Raunchy or not, dude, like it's like I said, it's a day in the life. You really get a feel for these characters. It's one of those where even if you haven't been on a wait staff, you can still get a feel for it,
Yeah.
Like me personally, I haven't been on a wait staff like that at all. I've been at Domino's, but I still understand where all these people are coming from. Like, oh, we want to move you up to management. Oh, we want to do this stuff. Oh, you know, you got those goofy ass people in the back that smoke weed and do dumb shit, and then you gotta fire them, stuff like that. Like it's one of those movies that hell, it's almost a rite of passage. Like you saw that movie, and then okay, this is like I said, it's a shit or get off the pot kind of movie. It could, if you watch it at the right time in your life, it could be a real motivator.
Yeah, you're right. So that being said, and that's what you're absolutely right. At that time of your life, it can really help you out. I'll if you're stoned, I'll give this an 11. If you're,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you watch this sober and you're just watching for the movie what it is, it's definitely a 9. But if you can get a little baked and watch this movie, you will laugh your ass off because it has all that stoner humor in there. I even like the way Ryan Reynolds Monty goes, yeah, at least you were warned, man. My guy did get a warning, and I think the director is the guy that's hanging. Like what is he doing?
Hilarious.
How is he? Is he just?
I don't know, dude.
What's he doing?
Maybe it's a ghost of him. I'm not too sure.
I think
dude, his little soliloquy about how he wasn't there to make the rules, so he shouldn't live by them. Like, that is great. Like, this justification of being the sleaze bag is admirable, honestly. Like, as terrible as it is, like but I mean, he's like, you'll be 18 next week, right? At least has the decency to do that.
He has as a character development a little bit. But guess what? Even he's definitely like a Seth Gecko from George Clooney from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
That's a villain, and you're not really rooting for him. You're just kind of seeing what he's doing. And in Monty, you like him, but he's like, dude, he's a charming asshole. Like,
and if I had to guess, dude, like, they're all making fun of him. Oh, you have sex with 16-year-old girls. I bet you that was an accident. You probably thought she was 18. You probably, you know what I'm saying?
What do you
Like,
know? I don't. I think
So,
he knows. I think he knows they're minors. Like, he only knows.
I think he knows, like, those high school girls that he's hitting on. He like, it's like what Anna Faris says. Like, he likes that attention and everything.
Nah, dude, it's
But
very obvious. It's pretty obvious.
Would he intentionally do that?
Yes, I think it's pretty obvious, dude. Dude,
if you're gonna wait for Natasha, dude, I don't think that's necessarily character development, because that motherfucker has no development. He's not trying to be a better person.
No, dude, he's. I think he only sleeps with minors, dude. And I'm bringing that with real life because I know those guys that. So what I'm saying is, like, I think it's very honest. I think it's very forward about the way he is. I think that's what makes him Dean's, because he has that conversation with Dean, and Dean makes him like kind of, oh, maybe I should wait. Maybe maybe I shouldn't be a complete piece of shit. I think there is a little change there in them. I think it's very established that he is a sex pedophile offender, sex offender is because he goes Scrappy Doo, oh, sex offender, or he say like
statutory rape.
Statutory rape.
Scooby Doo.
That Scooby Doo tongue. Statutory rape. Like, even he thought it is. I think he's known for that. I think that's what his persona has already become.
But you know that, especially you fuck up one time, people are gonna hold that over your head.
Nah, dude, I think it's pretty forward, man. I'm gonna have to go. We're gonna have to. I think it's pretty forward that Monty's a freaking not child molester.
I think he gets off on the attention from him. But like I said, him saying, because dude,
he's making out with Natasha in the bed, and then what does he say if anybody asks? I fucked you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, of course he would say that. Because I don't know. We may have to agree.
Why would he say? No, we're not agree. We're gonna agree to this right now. There's facts in this movie. There's no agreeing to disagree. It's either you agree or you disagree. But I'll say this. I'll say that.
That's what I'm saying. We're agreeing that we disagree.
We're pulling this little bat out of the rat. No, I think I want to say I think it's open. Not open. I think it is very clear that he is like that. I think at the end he finally gets a little like, well, maybe she turns 18 next week. What if she was 16 and turned 17? He would still fuck her. Like, he wouldn't wait a whole 2 years. I don't know. We got to go back in there. I think that's a good little theory there, though. I don't have any evidence, exclusive evidence to see that, but I mean,
he was messing around with Anna Faris. She's around his age.
Well, yeah, but that's because you like to get laid, and then she even explains it, like the 45 seconds that you're Caesaring on top of me, and then
it's like, why do you hit on high school girls? Because the only ones that will deal with you bullshit. Yeah, but just because you bullshit with them and talk with them and all that
I
other
get what you're
stuff.
saying now. I get
You
what
know,
you're saying. What I'm
by
thinking
no
now.
means am I defending
No, you're
Monty.
not. No,
I
I
want
think
to. I don't want to die on this platform, but I'm just saying, like,
fucking
I
pervert.
and
Uh,
it may just be that I like Ryan Reynolds so much. I don't want to be a sleazebag like he is
no,
in Adventureland.
now I
Like,
think.
have you seen that
Oh
movie?
yeah, he is a
You know,
sleazebag in that one.
he does
Well,
play it
he's
well
cool. He's
because
cool. No, he's a sleazeball on this one. He comes off, and eventually he plays off as real cool, but he's not like doing the
yeah.
cool thing. But also, that's real. Like he can play that off. Like it's Ryan Reynolds. Like I'm pretty sure I'd sleep in a bed with him for for like just be like I'm gonna stay here tonight. I don't care. No, but I think just to defend you on your part, I think he's convincing himself is what I think you're coming across as.
Yeah.
He's trying to convince himself to do it, and he can't do it. I can see that now. Now that's not bullshit. That's enough evidence there that he can see through the whole. If he has some kind of conscience, he's like, I want to do it, but she's a minor, so I'm gonna wait till she's But you're right. I could see where you're coming from. So I cleared it up a little bit. As your lawyer, as your acting lawyer on Side by Side, I will tell you, my defendant was coming at the ghost on just pure, just what the character was doing based on there was no well, he made out with her, but I think maybe I think maybe that was enough for him to be like, oh, it was too much. So I see where you're coming from. I still think he was sleeping with 16-year-olds, but I think you're right on there. And I did like how Calvin sat on the bed and he starts on the couch. He starts pissing his pants. Like, oh, I guess I'm gonna go
Now,
hit on this one.
Calvin, I can see sleeping with 16-year-old girls.
Yeah, I can see
Honestly,
that too. Or I
he
mean,
has a
even by
very he has a
I guess that by accident too. He didn't like mean. He just got. I mean, he's the guy that picks up the shifts. Christy is her name, or Christine.
yeah. She's probably underage.
No, that she didn't. She probably didn't. What do you call it? Like that girl. That's funny. Well, she's on a date with another guy. Even that scene where the girls tell him, and Amy and Serena tell him, like, we
He
don't. Are
goes
you
and does
okay?
it right to the table, right at the table.
Hey man, I was a Calvin for for a while, so you do got to grow some cojones and see what's going on now. Salmon Slammin. Let's see. What is your score for the Salmon
No, no,
Slammin?
no. You go first.
I gotta go first again. All right. So
Yeah.
this one, we didn't. There's just a lot of scenes in this movie that are that are hilarious. I mean, even Michael Clark Duncan, the way you've even brought it up to my attention more, where I was thinking, like, he is freaking funny. He is exciting to like kind of just watch on the way you're looking. What's he gonna say next? Every time he's demands kind of the stage. But man, I wish I would have saw this movie in the theater, just so I could have got the Broken Lizard experience theater experience. But man, being part of the service industry, being like this, and with these guys, I'm probably giving them a buddy score. It should be like a 10, but I'm giving this like, nah. I'll be good with. Oh, man, I don't know, because now when you think about a comedy with jokes, this has a lot of jokes. So now I got to look for it as just like I'm thinking about it like when I saw Mel Brooks. I see his timing, his pacing on jokes, and this one is like that. I want to say this is a friendly boost, but I'm giving this an 11. It's got too many little jokes that I think this movie I think this movie has a lot of depth, but it doesn't go there. I think it just keeps it very subtle. You get a little surface, you get a little bit of it. Because even Dick LeBeau, he says, call me after your surgery. We got another, like, he's still kind of cool,
Mhm.
and like you have like even like his little scenes are good. Wolf Forte has good scenes. Wolf Forte, just for being like some weird like character in this movie. Not even weird character, and I'm talking about not a character in the movie, but a character presence, having a weird presence in this movie, and then finally you find out what it is, and he's got a big part to it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 11 on this one. And I'm not going by their Broken Lizards and I love the guys, and I'm not going by this. Not like I say, I think it should be a 10, but the more we talk about, and the more we know what a comedy movie is, the more everything just kind of breaks down. The more the movie's just it's well made. These guys know what they're doing. I'm giving it an 11. They they recall their characters. These guys, they look like this movie's kind of seamless. I do have a question though. The scene where Guy, um, it's Donnie's waiting on the table, and Guy walks past him, and he looks at the. I think he goes to talk to the Will Forte character. I don't forget what he was, but Donnie goes, fuck off or something like that. He tells him that. I knew I already seen this movie. I got to remember what it was, but Donnie tells that to Guy. He like tells him something like he cusses at him while they're walking away. Oh, because he talks to the smart girl and by her, what's her name?
Robin.
Robin. Oh no, she's from her. Yeah, Patty. No, that's the hostess. What's her name? Oh, Stacy. Carla Gallos. No, is that her? Is that Robin from? I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with.
No, that's Kobe Smulders.
Kobe Smulders, right? Yeah.
No, it's not Stacy. She's not on the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, Tara is her name. So he talks to Tara, and then he sees Donnie, and then Donnie, what do you call it? Then Donnie says something off, but I thought it was freaking David at that point, but it wasn't because David was. But I'm like, Donnie cusses at him because it seems like Donnie's getting, or maybe drunk. Oh yeah, he's probably drunk. He's drunk. Yeah, never mind. Well, the champ comped our meal. Yeah, I think I'm giving this an 11, dude. What do you got?
Give it an 11. Yeah.
Perfect match.
Yep. It's this is just a solid ass movie. Just on the Michael Clark Duncan quotes alone.
Meat
got
drapes.
A 9. Meat drapes. I think you're pronouncing it wrong.
Metropolis. I'm Greek.
Yeah. Oh, another one I use all the damn time is you never want to assume. You make an asshole out of yourself. And yeah. Come it doesn't sound like that whenever I say it. Meat drapes.
Meat drapes.
I'm not sure. Yeah, man. This it's a solid ass movie. I laugh every time I see it.
You know what it is about waiting to in this one. They're quotable movies, man. When you can quote a movie like Welcome, yeah, I think that's what gives it the extra points, man. Because I wish I would have seen this movie at the theater. I wish I would have seen Slammin' Salmon at the theater, for the first time. Because now I think about it with the laughs and the giggles and everything, it's pretty damn good.
It would have been great with an audience.
It's under the radar, funny for me. It's under the radar, like you get the laughs and everything. But also, when I say under the radar, I don't mean like because I didn't know to go look for this. But what I'm trying to say is, this movie is just like like their other movies. They're funny, and they're good, and they're right on par. So, I'm good with the score, man. 12 and 11. Yeah, waiting definitely does have a lot of good quotes and a lot of things. I'm gonna show you that when we get off right now. I want to show you that Justin Long and Amy or the Dean and Amy Harpole. I want to see if we're exaggerating, but that I guess since we're done with these two movies, where shall the adventure go on next?
Dude, are we almost at 5 hours?
We started at 10:30.
Okay, cool.
So I mean, we started at 10. We started at 10, but I didn't start keeping track. We are, oh crap, we're already at 3 hours. So this is probably
is that it?
Yeah. Well, I started late though, so I'm at 2 hours and 56 minutes right now, but I started like half an hour late. So
okay.
Wow, it goes by fast. I'm getting a lot of energy when you're fading a little bit.
Yeah, my bad, man.
No, it's late.
That
dude.
beer's hitting me.
Yeah, I mean it's late too, and we should be moving on. But I mean, clearly I have so many waiting stories I can tell you. It's just I don't know. Just I want to see what I can relate to with these movies, and why does Will Forte touch Donnie's face like that when he walks away? Why does he touch his face? I mean, where can we got the New Year coming. We could
do Christmas, maybe the two Grinch movies. I was thinking about maybe that.
The Grinch movies?
Yeah,
there's two of them.
Have the live action,
the cartoon.
Well, the new cartoon.
Jim Carrey again.
Yeah.
Let's see that. What else can we do for? I'm just saying I want to see if we can. Let's see if we can. If we want to do, well, Christmas is on a Friday, and we got 3 Fridays from now, so we have some time. Do we want to do all Christmas theme all month, or do we just want to kind of, because we could kind of go. We can kind of go around though. I mean, we could spread the holiday cheers if we need to. There's I mean, it's any okay. So at this point, I'm finding out we are treading in waters that we could actually be without even knowing. Because like I want to watch Four Christmases again, but
Jon Favreau.
That's a Jon Favreau, and actually they're just acting in this one, Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn. But You know, there we made we
It's
saw
Peter
that.
Billingsley, right?
What's up
Is that the director? Peter Billingsley? Blah, blah.
for Four Christmases?
Ralphie
For
from Christmas Story. Is that who directs it? No.
for the movie Four Christmases, it's Seth
Yeah.
Gordon.
Oh, okay. He produced it. Then. Damn.
Yeah, I see him. I see him. He's in it. I think he has a cameo in the movie. But see, I like that kind of. I like that movie for Christmas. But I don't know I brought it up just to bring. What other Christmas movies do you think that we could? I mean, it's so easy. You just go to this thing called the interweb, and you put.
Dude, so there's two. There's a movie that I haven't seen. It's a Netflix movie. It's that Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell. Have you watched that one?
No, I have not seen that one.
And there's two of them. They just came out with the second one this year.
Oh God, we're going to too far off. We're going into some far off treachery water there, huh?
I know, man. It would be like really unknown territory.
This is really
neither one of us have seen either one of these.
This would be a black abyss. I mean that we have time to do, before Christmas even hits here. Someone did suggest to me Krampus.
Krampus, yeah.
Krampus.
I haven't seen that. See, if we do that, I want to find another, maybe like Black Christmas or something like that.
Oh, that would be
horror.
And then we have 8 Crazy Nights. Okay. I like your idea. I like what you said. Let's see what else we can find. Like let's hold on to that one and let's see what else we can find. Because Adam Sandler has 8 Crazy Nights. There's quite a few little. I mean, I'm already doing Vegas.
If we do 8 Crazy Nights, surely there's another like cartoon Christmas movie that's on par with that.
Black Christmas. Oh, we you know what, man? We are in and we can. Do you want to do the Kurt Russell one? There's The Night Before. I don't remember seeing this movie. I think I've seen it, but I don't remember it. That's the one with Seth Rogen. Jeff Gordon. Yeah,
I don't think I ever watched that one either.
A Christmas Story.
We can just watch the Christmas Story over and over again on TBS.
That would just there we have it on. Yeah. No, wait, this was called. This is called A Christmas Horror Story. Sorry.
Close.
I just googled what do you call it? Christmas movies. We got quite a few.
National Lampoon's Last Christmas, Christmas Waltz, Deadly Little Christmas.
Ernest Saves Christmas. Hey, Vern.
It's been a while since I've seen that one.
They have Die Hard here on their Christmas movies. What is it? Is Die Hard? Is it a Christmas movie or is it an action movie shot during Christmas?
It's a Bruce Willis movie.
It's a Bruce Willis for sure. Man, they really get it down. Okay, here you go. Christmas. You want to watch the Kurt Russell one? What's called the Christmas Chronicles?
We could, dude. Okay, so there's actually, let's see here. If we didn't want to do just both of those, we could do Christmas Chronicles, and they have another Netflix movie that came out this year.
This is like right in my face, and I watch this every year. I don't know if you want to do this, and I don't know if I'm just throwing this out there because it just popped up right in front of me. There's a lovely little pair of movies called Home Alone and Home Alone 2. And then there's the, Kevin McAllister.
What's that? The other one I was going to suggest was Jingle Jangle. It just came out this year. Has Forrest Whitaker, Keegan-Michael Key. And we could do the Christmas Chronicles and Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle. I don't care, dude. That sounds Jingle Jangle. Jingle? Jangle.
Yup. And like I said, we got time on all these. It's just a matter of...
Oh, these are Netflix movies.
They both are.
Yeah, let's do this. I don't mind this. Jingle Jangle, Christmas Story, Christmas Journey. Oh, it's a musical.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, brother. Forrest Whitaker, Madeline Mills, Ricky Martin, and Keegan-Michael Key.
See.
I mean, dude, we just did a musical South Park, so I don't care. Like, I'm open. Dude, like Christmas to me, I'm fair game, man. Whatever you want to do. I have my movies I watch, so I'm watching them either way. I forgot about this movie, Mixed Nuts, a Steve Martin movie.
Dude, you know what I always do? I watch South Park Christmas. They have like a Christmas Carol episode, and I'll watch that every year.
It's been a minute since I've seen that one. Oh, Harold and Kumar saved Christmas. I forgot about that. A very Harold Kumar Christmas.
Yeah.
Dude, why are you messing around? Bad Santa?
Ooh.
Bad Santa 2? Oh, I just bought this one, Christmas Party. I like that one. I thought that was funny.
Oh, the one.
It's like Jason Bateman.
Oh, that's right.
And TJ Miller. All right, let's pick one. I can't keep people waiting much longer. Whatever you want to do. Do you want to do Jingle Jangle? Do you want to do Christmas Chronicles? What are you thinking? I'm just pitching stuff out here. There's this movie here called All Is Bright. I think it's Paul Giamatti and Paul Rudd. It looks it's a comedy from 2013. Is this Paul Rudd? Yeah, Paul Giamatti, Paul Rudd. Damn, how many Home Alone movies are there?
There's like 5.
There's 5 of them. Damn. Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas. You want to watch that one? Saving Christmas?
No. All right, man. So, let's do the Chronicles.
You want to do Chronicles?
Let's do the Christmas Chronicles.
All right, we're going some uncharted area.
Let's just do Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2. Or do you want to do the Jingle Jangle and do 2 separate Netflix?
Dude, this 2020 is almost over. We have nowhere but up to go. So let's see if we can bring ourselves down a little bit.
Let's do Jingle Jangle.
You want to do Christmas Carol 1 and Jingle Jangle, and we're gonna do a comparison of Netflix movies gone straight to I guess. Not DVD. What would it be? Straight to video or straight to demand? I guess is what it's
straight to streaming. Ooh, trademark.
There you go. There you go.
All right, dude. I totally forgot about the Santa Claus.
Oh, dude. Do you want to wait? Sorry, Jingle Jangle. Do you want to do Christmas Carol and the Santa Claus Chronicles?
The Christmas Chronicles and the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And that's 2 iconic people playing Santa. Kurt Russell, I mean, you can't beat that.
Holy shit! Tim Allen versus Kurt Russell.
Let's do it. Okay.
Okay, dude. Yeah.
Jingle Jangle. Wait for another day.
I might even just. I don't know.
You know what? Let's watch Jingle Jangle and see what we think too. We could throw a third one in there. Why the hell not?
Well, I did watch. I mean, like I said, I always watch 3 movies. And I watched Wishmaster this time. That was pretty good. I forgot it's a really good horror movie, Wishmaster. Let's okay. I don't want to do 3, or maybe we could do a side by side.
We could just let's do hell if we we won't do 3. We're going to compare the Christmas Chronicles and the Santa Claus, because
I think
the Santa Claus is like from our neck of the woods, and this Christmas Chronicles is a new, fresh take. I think it was pretty well received. Hell, it had a sequel. So did the Santa Claus.
But so does Sharknado. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit.
That's different. This is Christmas movies. All right, you can't capitalize on Christmas.
You can't. There's no value on. There's no dollar on Christmas.
There's no commercialism in Christmas, my friend.
I don't even, dude. I think I've just literally seen the cover of Kurt Russell as the Santa Claus. I don't think I know jack about this movie. This is gonna be fun because at least Santa Claus I haven't seen in a while. Mm-hmm. But it says it right here, dude. What the heck is this movie even about? Whoa, I
saw a preview of it today.
2018. All right, I'm set. So Thank you for this long marathon of side by side for you hanging in there. We're barely hanging in, and maybe we'll do a two-parter. Let's see when it gets to editing. But so we just finished 2005's Waiting and 2009 Slammin' Salmon with a little side by side. It was more of just a reminiscence of what we've done in our past with with these movies. But we're
history of Vin and CJ.
Part one. Let's say we're now it's December 8th, and we're gonna compare Christmas Chronicles 1 and Santa Claus. So we're gonna have a good old Kurt Russell versus Tim Allen. Let's see what we come up with. Yeah, there you go. Well, side by side, thank you for hanging out. We have been talking for a little bit longer than usual, and thank you for being with us. So just want to say peace out.
Have a great night and the rest of your day.
And the rest of your day. Yeah, your day just started, so you have a good one. We'll see y'all later.
Good night.